going on, everybody? And for the 100th time, welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad. And Miguel's muted once again.
God damn it.
Not for the 100th time.
God damn it.
But probably for about the 65th time. Miguel was muted during the intro. Listen, we mute before we go live because we like you could hear like the staticky sound like before the intro plays, so like that's why we try to mute before we go. But listen,
you can hear me. You can hear me just make like a shit ton of fucking dumbass noise during the intro, and he doesn't want that to interfere.
But it's not even you. It's just like the static in the sound of the room. You know what I mean? But guys, listen. This is the 100th episode of Let's Talk Movies. Not of every show we've ever done, because if you think back, I mean, this obviously the channel started with this show, with Let's Talk Movies. And this is the show that we're celebrating tonight because it's the 100th episode. But we also had, for those of you that have been watching for a long time, you'll remember this. We also had Let's Talk Movie News, which I think went 16 episodes or so, like that. And then we evolved, you know what I mean? Like the channel evolved, we evolved, what we kind of do evolved with this show. No, I didn't hate it. It went 16 episodes or whatever that was. But we just kind of we outgrew that show. We didn't need it anymore. So you had the 16 or so episodes of that show. You also we have Purely and Simply Evil, which is our horror show that we've got over 25 episodes on, I believe now.
That's really picked up.
Classics Revisited, plus standalone things we've done. Like we went live when all of the Halloween Ends first reactions were coming in. Like, you know, it's the 100th episode of this show. But I tried to calculate it the other night, and we'd be past 170 episodes total, like actual feature-length episodes. And that's not even to mention like the standalone little videos and updates and things like that, which we do, which we're trying to do a little bit more of, especially as we get into the new year. But the 100th episode of Let's Talk Movies, and not only are we celebrating the 100th episode of this show, but today, December 20th, in 2020, probably around this time, I was texting Miguel.
Wait, this ain't the actual date?
This is the actual date. This is the day I made the account for the channel. Yeah. Don't get choked up. I'm gonna cry. I texted Miguel one night when all of that Marvel stuff was dropping, and that was kind of how this whole thing began. And here we are 2 years later, which is incredibly hard.
Nauseating.
It's incredibly hard to believe that 2 years later, this is what you ended up getting. But this has been amazing.
Boys sitting in a parking garage,
living in a van down by the river. But this has been an incredible journey. So here's the plan for tonight. Tonight on the show, on the 100th episode, we're celebrating our 100th episode and our 2-year anniversary of the channel by doing something that we have wanted to do for a very long time, and that is ranking Marvel Studios' Infinity Saga, 2008 with Iron Man, all the way through 2019 with Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. This is going to be a big undertaking. I think we were talking a little bit before the show. I think we figured out the right way to do this so that we're not here for like the next 6 hours.
This. Yeah. I know we said that a couple of times. It was going to be like probably about 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
Dogs, we have responsibilities.
Listen, hey, it's Christmas break for me though, so I know you have to work.
That's fucking great. Yeah,
you have to work, but I'm on Christmas break. But we also have a hell of a winter storm coming, like expecting like blizzard warnings and stuff by Thursday night, which is pretty sick. It's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it though? Literally after this podcast, I gotta run the mire because everything is gonna be closed by now. I gotta run the mire and get the necessities because tomorrow's gonna be done.
Listen, it's not gonna be closed, but it's gonna be like Black Friday or like when COVID like first hit and everybody was like fist fighting over bread. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be nuts, but. So not only are we ranking the entire Infinity Saga, but wait, there's more. We are also going to take your questions live. We're basically here's the format of what we're going to do. So basically, we are going to do our first 5, and then we're going to go the next 5. I think we're going to go the next 5. Then we're going to go the next 5. Then we're going to go the next 5. That's times 4, and then I think we'll kind of go from there, and we'll talk about our top 3, or we'll do our top, whatever, top 5, whatever. We'll do it that way. And I don't know about you. This was hard for me. It was going to be tough, but I've changed my list around like 5 times, and I'm already looking at it, and I'm like, there's things I kind of think I should probably change.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like the first 2.
It's hard.
The first couple 5s that I've done, I was like, I'm pretty straightforward on those. I'm not gonna lie. But then when we get to the other 2 5s groups that I got right here, I'm like, I could really move this around a lot. But then the top 3, I can't move that whatsoever. That's sticking around. Like, that's just how I gotta go. Yeah, my top 3, I've watched it probably like 20 times already. So that's why I chose it like my top 3.
And the thing is, like, what makes it tougher too is like it's all like I love every single one of the movies on this list. I do. Mm-hmm. And now there's some obviously that I enjoy more than others, or that I happen to watch more than others. But I do enjoy every single film on this list. So it was a tough list to make, and who knows, I might even shuffle a few of them around while we're here. But but feel free anytime in the show. Throw your questions in the chat, and we will be sure to get to them at some point. We may not get to them right then, but at some point we're going to get there. So, he, she, we, big boobs is here. Listen, you can't have a good show without big boobs. You just can't. Couple of things. Just the 3 of us. I wish I had you all alone. Just the 3 of us. Dude, if it's just the 3 of us this entire time, whatever. Screw everybody.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
I'm all good for that.
Screw every one of you that's not listening. I'm kidding. He's a good job, guys, for the commitment and entertaining channel. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Very, very much. Appreciate you being here. Real quick, good question. This is in my list of videos I need to make. Scream 6 thoughts, anything for real. Yeah, I thought the teaser looked good. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Scream. I really enjoy the first film, but I just, it's never done it for me. It's never been a franchise that I'm like, oh, I have to see the next Scream movie. Like I was never that attached to the franchise. I don't know why, but I wasn't. So I'm hoping that I know there's the rumors of Stu coming back and all of that stuff, and like that'd be great.
That'd be dope.
That'd be pretty dope, but I just, I know. Listen, there are people that absolutely adore Scream, and I appreciate it, like 100%. I think Scream is a fantastic franchise. I enjoy the first film more than any of them.
He's an original snob.
I do. I'm an original snob for that one, for that franchise. But, again, I haven't watched that franchise through in... he said, well, I hate that you have that relationship with the franchise. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just...
I'll say this.
I have a love-hate relationship.
It's in New York, right? It's in New York.
Yes.
So that's a really different take, and I'm all excited for that. I'm really excited to see Ghostface out there slashing people up and, at Hell's Kitchen. I'm all excited for it. I hope Hell's Kitchen is in New York. But
it is.
I'm just
listen. Maybe Daredevil will make an appearance.
Absolutely not. But I'll say this: it'd be really interesting to see Ghostface literally fuck shit up in New York City, and I'm hoping it doesn't end up being like a Jason Takes Manhattan kind of thing, where it's only like 5 minutes there. I guess.
I don't think so. I think this is I think this film is going to take place in New York, like 100%.
Okay.
Which is a cool setting for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Jenny Ortega? What is it? Jenny Ortega? Who plays Wednesday?
Jenna
Ortega. Isn't she in this one?
Yep. She was in 5 as well. She was one of the surviving characters in 5.
My bad. I haven't seen 5. Much love.
It's okay.
But again, I'm excited. I'm all excited for it. I'm all excited. I need to catch up on the Scream franchise. It's obviously one of the franchises that I don't know much about. but I do love the character mainly because of how much they made fun of it in Scream.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely stellar job on how they made that movie. So I know the Scream franchise, definitely a franchise I need to check out more.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I'd like to say that
We
we
got a
will.
podcast to do it for.
I would like to say that we'll, because I believe it comes out in March, and I would love to say that, oh yeah, we'll get to the Scream franchise on Purely and Simply Evil before then. But I'm also having a baby in February, so like I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But I'll still go to watch
Take the
six,
baby
and
to
I'll.
Scream.
I'm. Could you imagine just sitting there like sitting with the bottle during Scream?
What other way?
But yeah, I'm interested. I think
Mm-hmm.
it seems like they're finally doing something different with it. Part of the problem for me with the Scream franchise has always just been like I feel like it's like this, like the first one was good because it was like, oh my, who is it, like the entire film you're trying to figure out who it is and what's going on, and like the whole reveal of Stu and Billy at the end was so cool, and the way that they went out and their whole like freak out session in the kitchen, like it's a really really cool film. But I just feel like it's like the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean?
It's like a
Now,
whodunit kind of thing.
I'm not saying that Halloween and Elm Street and Friday and all of that isn't the same thing over again. I know that they are. They recycled the same concept, but I don't know. It's just a franchise that's never completely done it for me. But I am excited about 6, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. So I will make a standalone video about that, or we will, or somebody will. Somebody on this planet will make a standalone stream video again. We might have some random person on here, some dude off the street. Hey, you want to be in a video? Cool. Come on. So.
Yeah, be in the video. We need guests.
So listen, before we kick off this ranking, no good episode begins, if you've watched our show for any amount of time, without a beer review. And today...
I feel like I'm on that end.
Huh?
I feel like I'm always lacking on that end right now.
You are.
Dog,
you need to drink more.
Beer's expensive.
It is. It is.
What a great friend.
This is Holiday White Ale. Sam Adams. Haven't had this one before. Description, are we ready?
Riding that Sam Adams train hard.
I haven't had Sam Adams in a little while. It's been a little bit.
Well, the
since I
last
bought
couple
any
of
Sam
beers
Adams.
you've reviewed have been Sam Adams. I'll pull up the receipts.
They've been Great Lakes.
Have they?
I've gotten Great Lakes for a while.
You just look like a Sam Adams type of dude.
This says, the holidays, full of friends, family, festive parties, and last-minute gifts and food mishaps. Whatever happens, this flavorful ale is your trusty +1, smoothing things over with orange peel and holiday spices. So, the smell
I thought there was
test.
more.
No,
You
there's
said
no
that
more.
like there was more coming.
Oh, no, it's very citrusy, which I'm hoping for. That's the goal. I'm hoping for a nice citrusy. John Taffer would say this isn't the way to pour a beer, but I don't care.
Well, you know what? John Taffer's closed down a lot of bars that he's remodeled, so
Fair.
it is what it is.
Fair. So, got a nice... It looks light. It's not a light beer, but it looks light. Like, it's not... The last few I've had have been a little dark for my taste. Like, just a little... Not porter level. Like, if porter is a 10...
He doesn't like dark side.
And, like, if porter is a 10 and, like, Busch Light is a 1, like... The last couple I've had is like, I'm talking about dark, not quality. They've been like a 6.5, 7 or so.
Okay.
So not pitch black, but all right, here we go. Sam Adams Holiday White Ale.
You gotta lick the glass before you drink it. Okay.
It's good.
Is it? I'm glad. As someone that's
One
trying
sip,
not to
everybody
drink-
knows the rules. It's good. It does have that citrusy. It's almost a little bit like Blue Moon, but it's got a little bit of like.
I'm gonna hate that then.
It's
I
got
don't
a
like
little.
Blue Moon.
You don't like Blue Moon?
No, dog.
Dude, I love Blue Moon. It's like one of my favorite beers.
I like oranges for breakfast.
Like simple beers. Like I like craft
Not with-
beer.
not
Like if
with
I
my
go
hot
eat
wings.
somewhere. Really?
No, I'm not a big beer guy. Not a big orange beer guy, I
I was gonna
guess.
say you're not a big beer guy. What do you? Our entire friendship.
I mean,
is a
I
lie
haven't-
then if you're not a big beer guy.
Oh, is that it? Is our friendship only based on alcohol?
It's only based
Jesus
on beer.
Christ.
No,
Can't
but
wait to
this is
dissect that
very
therapy.
good. It's even got a little bit of orange to it. You know what I mean? It's got that orange, nice color.
I'm so glad your glass is clean. Otherwise, we'd just be looking at your dirty ass foggy glass.
It's nice. I dig it. I'm definitely gonna drink 2 or 3 of them throughout the show.
Well, you
It's fine.
didn't even rate it yet.
Oh, I don't. Do we typically rate beers?
I don't know. I just asked. Do you want to rate
Listen,
it? You
I'll
can.
do the Johnny Drinks thing if you've seen that channel. I'll do the Johnny Drinks. There's thumbs down, there's middle, or there's up. I'm gonna give this one an up. I like it.
Okay.
That's
There
the
you go.
simple
That's
answer.
pretty
So,
pretty simple.
okay. So we're 16 minutes in. By the way, if you have not already and you're watching on YouTube, leave it a like. We thank you very much for that. So, as we said, we have some
We want
thank yous
100
and
likes
stuff.
for 100 shows. That's what we
that
want.
would be great. That would be awesome. So we have some thank yous and some stuff to go over later, but I want to start this ranking. I'm kind of excited. So here's what we're gonna do. So right now you can see we're gonna use whiteboards here. We're gonna get nice and
Which one
nice
is he
and
seeing my
fancy.
whiteboard?
So yeah, Miguel brought out the planet Mars for his whiteboard.
I offered the whiteboard idea, and then he proceeds to get the small one. So obviously,
I
now
had a
I'm the
small
weird guy.
one. This is the only
Obviously,
one I have.
I'm the guy with the big ass whiteboards. Just you wait till you see it.
That's fine. So essentially, we're gonna show 5 films at a time for the majority of this. Oh, there's the first burp of the night.
Rick.
So I haven't written mine yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and write my 5
mine
my
out.
first 5. So
Yeah,
I don't
pretty
show them
fucking
yet, Miguel. Don't show them.
I ain't showing anybody yet.
Okay, don't show anything.
I ain't showing anybody.
You can only
anything.
show me because we show each other things.
Bro, how many of like the first phase are in your top and bottom? Like I'm curious.
I'm trying to think where some
Reading
of these
right now?
fall. There's one that I
okay.
know is not.
Oh really?
1, 2. All except for 1 is in phase 1.
Really?
No, I lied. All except for 2. All except for 2.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm almost done with mine.
Well,
so-
I'm gonna go ahead and write mine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This list was pretty fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie.
It was
I was
it was
doing
hard. It was not easy.
Because first off, that's a lot of movies. That's a
Actually-
lot of numbers. That's a lot of forgetting. So
I'm already
down for
changing one.
forgetting.
I'm already changed one right now.
Well,
I'm already
see,
doing it.
That's why. See, who would have thought? Maybe I figured you probably want to erase something, so that's why I invented the whiteboard. Even though mine is about as big as a fucking sleigh, which is perfect for the snowstorm
See,
we're gonna
dang
get fucking
it.
hit with. Dog. Okay, no. Stick
What?
with what you got now at this point. Deadline. The deadline. Look, you're a teacher. The deadline was at 7:30. You got lay your pencils down. It's time to grade your test. I wonder if our last one's gonna be the same. I'm gonna die laughing.
I
if
think
is.
it probably will be. I think I could
It
guess
probably
right
will
now
be.
what your bottom one is. All
Well,
right,
okay,
I'm switching up.
Damn, already. That's the bottom 5. His bottom 5 he's switching. I'm a little scared. Are you switching from like the top to the
No.
bottom? Or is it, like,
It's
within
not.
the
It's not
five?
quite that extreme. No,
Oh, okay.
it's not
His
quite
is
that
going-
extreme.
His is gonna be all sorts of jumbled. Mine is perfectly organized, and I got it all made.
No, it's organized.
thought about
It's
this
organized.
since we-
Hang on.
I had this list done years. No, I'm kidding. I had it done like probably about 30 minutes ago. So
The channel's existed for 2 years. Miguel's had this done for 6.
yeah. I'm excited.
I am too. And then I switched one. What was it? Okay, never mind.
Bro.
I'm good. I got it. I'm done. I got it.
He's gonna be.
I have
He's
my
gonna
list.
be sweating the. He's gonna be sweating the rest of the show.
No, I have my bottom 5. All right, I have
Okay.
it. So this is number are the ranking numbers. So this is number 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. 23 films in the Infinity Saga. So this is going to be the bottom 5. So are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
All
We're
right.
gonna throw it. We're gonna throw it across the room. No, we're gonna show our bottom 5. Here we go. In 5. Yeah, don't give yourself a concussion when you turn that planet, like
We're gonna try not to.
that desert. All right, here we go. Bottom 5 in 3, 2, 1, boom. Oh! Oh,
Damn.
no. We didn't have any that were the same.
Well, no, I think we probably were going to be the same.
We had
But
none
you
that were the
changed
same.
it when you changed it like 2 or 3 times.
No, it wasn't going to be the same.
Really? Okay.
No, it
well,
was not. No.
ladies and
Damn,
gentlemen,
you put
for those of
Ant-Man
you-
at the bottom?
for no, this is 19, dog.
Oh, who does that?
I go all the way down. It's a countdown. Do you not read this?
Okay,
Read
I
the
was looking
sign.
at that the wrong way. What?
Yeah.
That makes it worse.
No, it don't.
I'm kidding. Okay, talk about your
All right,
list
well,
first,
here,
because I'm
look,
blown away right now.
For those of you that can't see the show and are listening, here's my 23 to 19. I got Captain Marvel.
23-19!
Yeah, right. That was pretty good. I got Doctor Strange at 22. I got Thor on 21. And spoiler alert, Thor the Dark World at 20. And at 19, I got Ant-Man. Now, understand this. When I have it at the bottom 23, this doesn't mean that I hate these movies at all. It just means that these are my least favorite.
Okay.
I love all these movies. I love Ant-Man. But it's not necessarily the movie that like I'm gonna be like, you know what, I want to watch that real quick.
Yeah,
okay.
like you're gonna go to it.
I'm going off watchability and what I felt in the movie, pretty much. Okay. I don't know what your criteria was, my dog, but that's pretty much what mine was.
I would say mine was like a combination of watchability and enjoyment. That's probably what mine would be.
That's probably everybody's criteria.
If I had to
honestly
put it in a bubble and explain it, that's what it would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
like pretty much with this entire bottom 5 that I have, and I hate saying bottom 5 because they're good movies. You gotta understand, guys. I love Captain Marvel, but in regards to a story and coherency and enjoying things about the movies, I didn't particularly like it all that much. It seemed so forced at the time, and honestly, this actually right here is what started the who's the most powerful Avengers. So that was pretty cool. It opened up that question of like who's the most powerful Avengers.
Right.
And they were really marketing the fact that it was Captain Marvel. Really fucking hard. And then moving on from Doctor Strange, Thor, and Thor the Dark World, I know I have 2 origin movies in the bottom 5. But I mean, honestly, let's be honest. Sequels are always better. I'm just saying. So, I love Doctor Strange. Love Benedict Cumberbatch. Penguin. The way he says penguin, fucking hilarious.
Penguin.
I love the introduction to the mystical world that we all now are being, having to delve into now with the multiverse of madness. But again, it's not one of those movies that I just enjoy. Just want to watch again over and over again. It seemed a little slow, but then it started picking up as the movie progressed on. So it was very much a slow burn. I'd say all of these movies right here are probably slow burns for me. Because with Thor and Thor the Dark World, again, it introduced the mighty Thor. Chris Hemsworth knocked it out of the park. I'm surprised you guys are surprised by this in the bottom 5. Not gonna lie. But
no, I'm just surprised that you put the Dark World over Thor.
There's a reason why, because it was a pretty dark and gritty movie. It was the darkest Thor movie we've had this entire time. In the last 4 Thor movies, this was the darkest one we've had.
It also wasn't the greatest, though.
Man, I liked it, man. I'm not gonna lie. It introduced the ether, which was the reality stone. Yeah, it introduced the reality stone, and it just made the whole world seem a lot more bigger because we didn't have Guardians of the Galaxy at the time. This right here is what started to spread out the whole universe that we have the Marvel world now. And then with Ant-Man, look, man, everybody loves Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd. I love Ant-Man. I don't love him as much as all the other Avengers. I know he's going to be pretty big in Quantum Mania, and I hope they use him a lot more. I hope I end up loving him a lot more. But as of right now, he sits at my 19. That's all.
Yeah.
So that's my top. That's my
Okay.
bottom five. My top.
Miguel's bottom 5.
Yeah.
So with mine, I'm gonna start like a normal human being, and I'm gonna go. Let me get this where you can see it. I'm gonna go the bottom up. So my last one, number 23, was Thor: The Dark World. My bottom 2 were Thor and Thor: The Dark World, and if I had to pick one over the other,
we kind of agree on that end. There you go.
if I had to pick one over the other, I'd pick the original Thor. The Dark World just seems. There's number 2. The Dark World just seems a little. That one was deep. That was a really deep one.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first Thor film just kind of seems like a better put together story. It's not necessarily like a big epic film with like an epic final battle and stuff. I would say the final battle and the battle stuff with the Dark World was much better than Thor. But it just I feel like Thor did a slightly better job. I mean, we're not talking like drastic difference between the two. I just think Thor did a slightly better job of explaining the characters, of telling the story. So that I could be persuaded to go either way with those.
We also got to understand with Thor with the original Thor, it also introduced Hawkeye, but it was such like a sneaky kind of way of introducing Hawkeye. Like we didn't like some people if you aren't really comic book readers, you just thought, oh damn, this guy in the bow and arrow, oh he's a pretty dope assassin. But there's my burp.
There's your number 1.
But it was so cool how they introduced Hawkeye, just being as like a really deadly like assassin that was just a deadly agent of Shield that honestly was already ready to just like absolutely snipe Thor right in the head. Which if you guys have seen, What If, that's pretty much what happened. So all I gotta say that Thor was pretty good, but in regards to like Thor: The Dark World and Thor the original, I just felt like the climactic scenes felt more intense for me as compared to Thor. It was pretty much just like a soap opera, like brother.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It felt a little bit more soap opera-ish and less superhero-ish. I think the first Thor felt more superhero. The second Thor felt a little bit more drama, as Jamie Lee Curtis would say. Drama.
He didn't hear me. That was the other way around, my guy.
Oh, I disagree with you on that. I disagree. Anyways, my number 21 was Captain Marvel. Julia would kill me because she loves Captain Marvel.
She's gonna kill the both of us.
Captain Marvel is not a bad film by any means. It just, again, personal enjoyment level. Like, it's not one that I'm gonna go back and rewatch all the time. I enjoyed it like the first time I saw it. It was fun. It was cool seeing, like when she lands on Earth and there's like the blockbuster and the cool train chase scene and seeing Nick Fury, how he got the scratches, seeing him type the Avengers Initiative and stuff at the end. Like that was really, really cool to see. It's not one that I'm gonna go revisit a whole bunch. You know what I mean? Julia does. She's her favorite superhero. She loves Captain Marvel. But it's nothing against Brie Larson. I know people like to hate on Brie Larson for whatever, but I like Brie Larson. I've always liked Brie Larson. But I
particularly never was a fan with Captain Marvel.
I wasn't either. It wasn't a character that I was super into. And I like the character. Like when she showed up in Endgame, I was like, oh yeah, like that's pretty dope. But it just, her film it's a good revisit all the time, My number 20 was Iron Man 3, which has really grown on me, honestly, over the last few years. The whole, what's his name? The Mandarin thing. The whole Mandarin thing was kind of like, okay, that was kind of a tease. That was a little dumb.
That was the start of like the hype me up to let me down kind of thing. That Marvel
yes. And that whole thing, that whole arc was kind of whatever. But the redeeming thing about Iron Man 3 for me is Tony Stark's arc in that film is great. It really is. It's not necessarily the best Iron Man movie, but it may be one of the better arcs for Tony and for Tony's character, because you really see like the trauma and like the emotional damage that like it's done to him, like being Iron Man, being a part of the Avengers, like the nuke, the aliens coming through the wormhole, like everything that they've had to experience. And I forget, I have the whole, like the actual list. Did that come out before? When did Iron Man 3 come out? So that Iron Man 3
It came out after the Avengers.
before Age of Ultron. Okay.
Yeah.
It was the next film after. Dude, those first three Iron Man films came out very close to each other. Like there
They
wasn't
did,
a whole
because that
lot
was-
in between them.
That was the main man. They had to market him real hard.
Yeah. Well, so that was the beginning of Phase 2. That's what kicked off Phase 2, and I enjoy it solely for Tony's arc. I think his whole arc and like what he goes through in that film, seeing him kind of like have to collect himself, seeing him help the kid and have to fix the thing. Like if you're like it, I feel like when in Spider-Man Homecoming, when Tony says, if you're nothing without that suit, then you shouldn't have it, or something like that. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like him saying that was because of his arc in Iron Man 3. Because I think that's the moment where Tony learned, if he's nothing without the suit, then he shouldn't have it. And I think that was passed to Peter in Spider-Man Homecoming. So Iron Man 3 has grown on me. Like, even the scene, I love the scene when his house gets destroyed. And like he like throws the suit at Pepper and stuff like that, and like that's a really, really cool sequence. It's got some killer action sequences in it. The ending is kind of stupid. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when Pepper gets her powers and whatever, it's kind of like, oh god, it's a little dumb.
Yeah.
Not really about this, but
Yeah.
his arc in that film is why I put it above Captain Marvel and Thor the Dark World. And then my number 19 is another one that's grown on me quite a bit, and that is Captain America: The First Avenger. Which I didn't really... I wasn't that into the first time I saw it, to be honest. I was kind of like, that was it? Like, I kind of wasn't that big of a fan of it the first time. I thought it was a little cheap. But the more and more I went back and watched it, it feels like a comic book movie.
Wait, cheap or cheesy? What do you mean?
A little bit of both, I guess. The first time I watched it, that's how I felt. I wasn't overly impressed. But the more and more I've gone back and watched it, I'm like, this is kind of it's kind of cool how they tie in the World War II stuff and how they make it feel like a period piece. And some of the characters and stuff and the development in that. I love the end of that film when he wakes up and it's all like an illusion. Like they're basically just trying to make him not freak out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was like the
Yeah.
what's it called? Like the assimilation to like RH, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you have like the old Yankees game playing on the radio, and the nurse is dressed old or whatever. And when he runs out, and it's all like modern and stuff, and he's freaking out, like that's really, really cool to see. And of course, like he's standing in Times Square, and Nick Fury, like it's a cool ending to a film. Red Skull is really, really well done in that film as well. He's one of the better villains of the MCU, I think. He's a cool villain.
It sucks that the actor that played the Red Skull didn't continue playing the Red Skull. And
Right.
Like,
Yeah, but then Ross
Infinity
Marquand.
War.
But Ross
But then
Marquand
Ross
played him too.
Marquand pretty much like nailed it out of the
He
park.
did.
He did. But I'm just saying, I did miss the charm that we had with the original Red Skull.
Yeah, but honestly, dude,
It was very,
Ross Marquand is actually a hell of an actor.
Yeah, but like you
He
gotta
really
understand.
is.
That is true, but you gotta understand the Red Skull and like in Infinity War and Endgame is a different character.
It is. It is.
Captain America. So
It is.
that little charm that he had in like in Captain America: The First Avenger, I thought I kind of missed that instead of the brooding like
I get that. I get that.
This is your legacy, and I know who you are already.
This
like,
is your dude.
like, what
Like,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
So still that introduction though of the Red Skull like holding the Soul Stone, fucking phenomenal. That was one of
it was
those.
cool.
That was one of those moments where I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like, we did not expect that to happen.
Everybody in the theater was like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It was
like,
cool.
oh damn!
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was a cool moment, man. So,
Mhm.
that's our bottom 5 here. So my bottom 5: Thor: The Dark World, Thor, Captain Marvel. Jules, I'm sorry, I put Captain Marvel in my bottom 5.
Oh,
Out of
she's
20,
there.
out of 23 movies, it's number 21.
Hey, Jules. She's in my bottom 5 too. Well, she
Just,
can't hear me.
she's in Miguel's bottom 5 as well. she went, oh,
She-
I'm
I
sorry.
heard that.
We love
Did
you.
you just call them dudes?
Tell the people I said that.
Huh?
It's because you guys are dudes.
We
She
heard
said It's
it.
because we're dudes. I don't think it's because we're dudes.
Nah, it's not true.
I don't think it's because we're dudes. It's okay. You want to say
I
hello?
will never apologize for being a dude.
Don't ever
Hello.
apologize for being you, Miguel.
Right?
What did you say?
Listen, the one and only Jay Dead is in the chat, my man. What's
Hello,
up,
Fran.
dude? Glad you're here. Yeah, you can't ever forget those, my friend.
Yeah, never forget the Hishiwi
Never-
boo.
Never forget them, Hichiwi.
Oh my god.
So let's do this. Let's go on to our next 5, and then we'll kind of continue. Ooh, J-Dead's spitting fighting words, Jules. He said Captain Marvel is low tier material.
Well, I mean, that's another guy. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, another dude. So I don't know.
Listen,
Higher, further, faster, baby.
she is Nick Fury's best friend.
That was so
She is.
cheesy.
She is. No, it's good. It's a good film. It's not one that I want to go back and rewatch all the time. Like, it's just not. I don't know. It's a good movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I enjoy it. It's
Because you're
cool.
a god.
It's cool. I like her character. Like I said to him when she showed up in Endgame, I was like, oh, like it was awesome. It's not a movie I want to go back and rewatch constantly.
I respect
She's like,
Captain Marvel as a character.
I did not like the movie. That's what I'll
That's
say.
fair.
can they hear me?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, 1000% can. If I
Yes.
can hear you,
Yes.
They can hear
you.
Okay.
yeah.
She's like the first female superhero that's actually been like strong. You know what I mean?
Wanda.
Yeah, he said Wanda.
Wanda is a boss ass bitch.
She wasn't bad though.
She was baller. She was a boss ass woman. There you go.
You also had Wonder Woman in DC.
There's so many other female superheroes out there.
J-Dead said Captain Marvel is being woke while smoking meth.
Well,
Wow.
being woke, I agree. Smoking meth.
Weth?
I don't know.
Smoking weth?
Weth.
What?
Yeah.
Weth? So this is what number? So if that was number 20, what number are we on? I can't do math.
18.
23, 20, 18. So this is 18.
Yeah.
So this is 18, 19. Crap, I messed up.
Okay, bye.
That's what you get for changing the
Love you.
list. Last second.
No,
My
I'm
bad.
not changing the list. I'm just.
That's all I'm saying. Watch me fuck this up so bad.
This is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. No.
Yes.
That's not right, Miguel. We just did 23. We just did 23 through.
23 to 19. So it'd be 18, 17, 16,
So
15,
18
14.
is the bottom number. See, this is screwing me all up, Miguel.
Hey, guys in the chat, am I fucking this up? I feel ahead of the game. already.
So 14 through 18.
14
15,
through 8.
16, 17, and 18. Wow. That was incredibly difficult.
I thought it was easy. Do you have yours already, or are you still stuck on counting?
I'm I'm writing it out right now.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
You know what? There's some that there's.
You'd be surprised by some of these. I'm not gonna lie. Still,
Yeah, I think some of mine might shock everybody as well. But again, it's not that It's not that I don't like some of them. It's just, I don't know. It's
None of
just
my decisions are like
part of
based
it.
on social norms, social things, whatever. It's just based on whether I like the movie. Do I vibe with the movie or not? Cool. If I don't, it gets dropped down the list. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
and it's not necessarily like I don't like it. It's just I don't know. I'm making another change already.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Don't look at me.
he's making changes. Making changes. There's number 2. Yeah, man.
All right, I have it. I got it.
I think number 14 might surprise you.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
He said mini strokes hitting early tonight. It's true, man. Well, we're already 42
Oh,
minutes in. It's not that early. But
it hit it at like 0.01 second.
wait till I drink 2 more beers, then we'll see how much it really happens.
He's expecting 2 more beers, dog. Dang. That's why I got the big old jug of water. If you see to my right.
This is our 100th episode, dude.
Hey, drink your waters.
I'm going hard.
Drink your water.
I
Stay
have listen,
hydrated.
I have 2 waters right here. I got them. So, all right, I have my list, and I'm set on it.
All right.
Honestly,
You ready?
I'm looking at my like master list. I don't think I'm gonna need to change all that much more. I don't.
Okay.
I think my top 3 tiers are pretty set.
I'd agree. I'd agree with me too. I mean, like I said, the middle 5 probably going to be tough. I'm going to change some
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bottom 5s. Yeah.
By the way, if you're listening right now, definitely leave this show a like. We're going to try to get this to as many likes as we possibly can. And also, if you have questions, after this tier, we're going to take a little break from the... Oh, there's number 4 for me from the ranking. And we have some people that we need to thank, obviously. We're going to go over a couple other things. So Miguel, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to show number 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 in our ranking of the Infinity Saga in 3, 2, spaghetti.
Spaghetti noodles.
Okay.
Oh, I love you lots and lots. That's Sierra. Shout out to you.
I
Love
love
you,
you
dog.
lots and lots. Is she here?
Yeah.
Is she there?
No, she just wrote that on my board all the time. It's like a thing she's doing. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, our lists are very different. Hoko,
Golly.
Spider-Man Hoko.
Hey, it's homecoming, dog.
You
That's
have
not bad.
you have one. I guess I can't say that. You have one on your list that is incredibly high on my list. I'll say that now.
Really?
And you're
I'm sure
second to last tier.
Okay. I'm just saying, like
I'm not gonna say which one it is. I'm not gonna say which one it is,
Okay.
but it's yeah.
Okay.
So you want to talk first? Do you want me to talk first, or what do you want to do?
No, I'll go for it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, 18 to 14. I got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain America, the first Avengers, the Incredible Hulk. I have Spider-Man Hope,
The
which
thick
college
Hulk.
people say, or I'm not college anymore, but Spider-Man Homecoming. And then at number 14, Avengers Age of Ultron. I'm not gonna lie, some of these last ones, it was hard for me to decide where the Avengers movies go. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard because I love all the Avengers.
Those were very simple for me. They were very easy.
Then you were being basic, a basic white boy. But
No, I'm bro. No, I'm not.
hey, you'd be surprised by my top 3. But let's go over this. I guess Ant-Man and the Wasp, phenomenal movie. I loved it when they were hinting with the whole Baba Yaga, what's her name?
Bye, Hishiwi. Have a good dinner, buddy.
All right,
See ya.
man, later.
Stay
But
safe.
I was gonna say, who is Baba Yaga? The one, the Phantom. I forgot what her name was.
That's what they call John Wick, Miguel. Baba
No.
Yaga.
No, an Ant-Man
I
and the
know.
Wasp.
I know. I'm kidding. Yes, I
But-
know. I know.
I thought it was really cool how they were literally introducing
the quantum verse at this moment.
Right.
They are already delving into the quantum verse, and they're hoping to harness the power and also save Janet's mother, who they were tirelessly spending the whole movie trying to save, while
Right.
also at the same time, Paul Rudd trying to dodge out of house arrest right there. When we got introduced to good old Juan.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Wan. Yeah, absolutely. Love him. And just the whole idea of Paul Rudd trying to escape arrest while also trying to save the world.
Mhm.
Hilarious. And this is after Civil War too. So this is one of the big questions that we had of like what happened to the heroes after the events of Civil War because of
Right.
the Sokovia Accords. Like that was a really big question that I think didn't really get answered all that much. Sokovia Accords pretty much went under the rug after the events of Civil War.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, because
Until the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. Then they talked about it quite a
yeah,
bit.
until like I mean, yeah, true, that's true. But then like after that, it just they pretty much was like, yeah, well the Sokovia Accords doesn't matter anymore unless it's world ending, and also
Unless it's a world-ending event, then we'll just
yeah, the Sokovia
forget
Accords is
about
out
that.
the window at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, do your thing, man.
Yeah.
So I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp, fun movie, funny as hell. The whole Hot Wheels little contraption that had all the cars that are
Yeah.
actually cars just shrunken down,
Right.
hilarious. Do you remember the Hyundai commercial? It was a scene from Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Did an
and I thought
ambulance
that was
just go
fucking
by
hilarious.
your house, or was that my house?
I don't know. My neighbor is kind of scary. I ain't gonna lie. I mean,
I just
shout out
heard
to the
like
neighborhood.
an ambulance or a cop car or something, but I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
We're gonna hope we're all okay.
Hope so, but we'll see.
Number number 17, Captain America: The First Avenger. Let me tell you something, man. Captain America: The First Avenger is probably the best World War II propaganda movie I've ever seen. I will say that thing is
That's a
pretty
good
much
one.
an hour and a half of World War II propaganda, and they are pretty much saying this is Captain America.
That's what I meant about the period piece thing. I think it's
With the
kind of
World War
cool,
II thing,
like how
yeah,
much it feels like that time period, and how
it
much they like specifically went all out to make it a World War II movie. You know, I think
it
that's cool.
really did, and I think it introduced the second version of Howard Stark, which I thought was phenomenal.
Yes. Hmm.
And understand, Captain America: The First Avenger, that pretty much sprawled up the whole love for Captain Carter, and then that's why she got her own TV
Yep.
show. If you guys forget about that, I don't forget about those TV
Ugh.
shows. But yeah, Captain America: The First Avengers, introducing good old Steve Rogers, him him being introduced to the superhero serum. I just gotta say my battery's low, so I'm probably gonna be fucked in a couple seconds. But Captain America: The First Avengers pretty much answers the question of why it worked with Steve Rogers.
Right.
Because you got to understand with the superhero serum, it enhances what you are, and that was further on explained, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But
Right.
we could see straight from the get go that Steve Rogers was going to be the one who obviously can host with the Super Soldier Serum.
I also really like the sequence after he becomes a super soldier, and there's the whole chase sequence, like running through the streets
Yeah.
and stuff, like when he dives in the river and he's running
Hmm.
barefoot, like down the street chasing the car. Like that's a really cool action sequence as well. It's one of the
Yeah.
cooler Captain America like sequence. It's almost reminiscent of what happens in Civil War when they're running, when he like outruns the flipping cars and stuff like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Pretty much.
There's some cool Cap stuff in those first two Captain America films.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
naturally they're his movies, but you know.
But okay, so we'll move on to the Incredible Hulk. But first, I gotta change my headsets. I'm sorry, guys. That shit is
It's
yelling at me
fine.
right
It's
now.
fine. It's all right.
I knew that was gonna happen, so your boy got a spare.
It's all good, man. It's all
Good old
good.
spares. Guys.
Take
You
your
know where I
time,
got
Miguel.
this
We're not all
headset?
waiting on you. Okay.
Do you know where I got this headset? I got this headset on a deal at Kroger on the side aisle of where it said, "Here, take this. It's basically free."
You didn't find him on the side of the road in a cardboard box that says free candy?
No, not at all.
I'm kind of shocked he heard me. I didn't think you were actually going to hear me during that, but whatever.
It's still working, dog. I can still hear you.
Okay. All right.
And let me change this real quick.
Change
Let
the
me change
settings.
this real quick.
Get
There
them
we go.
changed.
We're good. All right, now we shall move on to the Incredible Hulk. Um, the Incredible Hulk, bro. This guy was fucking.
He
This was the
was.
Hulk that everybody wish
It was good, man.
would come at in Infinity War and in Endgame. We all wish we had this Hulk because
Yeah.
with good old Mark Ruffalo getting pretty much basically bitched on by Thanos, we all wish Edward Norton's Hulk would come out. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but understand, man, when the Incredible Hulk came out, that shit was marketed so much.
It was.
I didn't even know it was gonna be a part of the universe. It just seemed like a pretty dope
Yeah.
semi quasi sequel to like the Hulk. And with the story of Bruce Banner and him trying to be pretty much a fugitive on the run, that
Yes.
was pretty dope. It was like a
It's a good
cool
one.
spy kind of like get out of like the fugitive, kind of like the fugitive kind of thing. If you guys have
Uh-huh.
checked it out, it's a pretty dope movie. But it all led up to the final confrontation with the Abomination, which was is it Ross? No, it's not Ross. What's his name?
No, Blonsky.
Blonsky. Yeah, there you go.
Emil
The
Blonsky.
whole interaction between Blonsky, like the rivalry that they had, you could see it before Blonsky became the Abomination. Like
Yeah.
you could see that there's such like rivalry between each other, just trying to one each other up. And obviously, you can tell with this when Blonsky got the superhero serum, it's obviously the same case as in Captain America. It enhances who you are, which for Blonsky's side, he is a brown little sea urchin, apparently, just really fucking bulked up. That's pretty much it. So we get the final fight scene, which you gotta say, man, in regards to fight scenes in the entire Infinity Saga, the Incredible Hulk
It's a
versus
good one.
Abomination was fucking baller.
One of my favorite shots of the Hulk in any movie, video game, comic book, whatever, is when him and the Abomination run at each other. Well,
Yeah.
you get the steel fist thing, which is from that's a move from if you remember, it's one of my favorite video games of all time, Hulk Ultimate Destruction from PS2, where he breaks a car in half and
Yeah.
smashes them together and uses them as boxing gloves. Essentially, that's what it is. And he breaks it in half or whatever, and he dodges Abomination's stuff, and then he throws them to the side. And when the Abomination and the Hulk are running at each other, and they both jump. And it's like you think it's going to be this awesome punch, and the Abomination just tackles him backwards. That's a really it's one of my favorite Hulk shots of all time, even though the Hulk does not land the shot.
No,
you know
not
what I
at
mean?
all. Literally, Hulk gets his shit worked on for a
He
good moment.
does.
Yeah,
He really does.
But then as soon as he started speaking, he started whipping shit up. So I mean, let's be honest. So at the end, with the Incredible Hulk, absolutely phenomenal. I thought Edward Norton would have been perfect. Though, yeah, at least Mr. Norton. But I thought Edward Norton would be a dope addition to the future of the Avengers and the whole Infinity Saga. But obviously that wasn't the case. Bing bang boom. Studio drama. That wasn't the case. But we got Mark Ruffalo, which
And-
he started out great, which was not a downgrade, guys.
And can we just say, I like them both. I'm not bummed
I do
that
too.
I'm not bummed that they had to recast him. I think Edward Norton did a really good job of being the fugitive on the run and trying to avoid everything. But I think Mark Ruffalo has done a good job of being a confident Bruce Banner. He's
Science.
we've seen
Science Bruce
we've
Banner.
seen him go through
Yeah.
that arc, when Natasha gets out of the shower, oof, and they have that whole little and she's let's run away together or whatever, and he's like, are you out of your mind? Why would you want to, I'm a monster or whatever. We've seen him go through that arc to the point, of course, where in Endgame he becomes Professor Hulk and he's confident about his abilities and whatever else, and and I'm a little, I don't know how I liked his treatment in She-Hulk, but I don't know.
There will come a time when the Hulk will get his just due. I'll say that.
I hope so, and I know there's rumors of a World War Hulk thing. I don't want Professor Hulk has been fun, and it hasn't bothered me, but I'm also like, okay, I'm ready for Rage Hulk again. Like
Yeah.
I want like psychopath, like don't cross him because you won't even stand it like a slight chance
Hmm.
against him. You know what I mean? Like I want that Hulk back again.
I agree.
Um,
So
you
moving
know,
on to Spider-Man: Homecoming, though, that is my bottom one of my bottom fives. But understand that Spider-Man: Homecoming was the first Spider-Man movie in a long time. This was even during the whole Sony and
it
Disney
was
like
it was
bullshit going on. Like we did not know we were gonna get another Spider-Man
yes.
until we got introduced in Civil War. So when we found out that we were getting a Spider-Man Homecoming, everybody was elated. So I'll say this: Tom Holland was able to embody Peter Parker, a Bronx kid or a Brooklyn kid, just trying to live out his day and also be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I think he was able to culminate both sides of that character perfectly. And you can see it in his mannerism, you can see it in his jokes, you can see it in how he interacts with the crowd. But in regards to the story, I mean, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, like I was not a real big fan of Peter Parker already, like being in the whole know-it-all of uh of Iron Man and all that stuff. I didn't like the whole Iron Man tech that he was getting and all that stuff. But I will say that the relationship between Tony and Peter Parker, I thought was very real. It was very
Yeah.
authentic, and I enjoyed every bit of moment we had with each of them, even though it was for such a short time.
It's
Now,
one of the better parts of that movie, honestly. The
yeah,
Tony
I'd
Peter
agree.
thing.
The
It
relationship
is.
between Peter Parker and Tony Stark is one of those that I'll rewatch, just for that
Yeah.
because I love seeing it and seeing how much Tony has evolved into a more of a father figure kind of thing. Now
Right.
we'll go into good old Avengers: Age of Ultron. Now understand this, guys. Age of Ultron, without a doubt, is one of my favorite group group movies, without a
Yet it's
doubt.
number 14.
Hey man, it is. It's one of them. That's why I had it like in the 14s. When I rank these fives, I'm just saying, like, this is my least from this five, and this is my best from this five. Not saying that it's my 14. That's why I didn't want to do the
I did
14 thing.
overall. I did overall.
Nah, I did. Well, it's going down the list, man, still. But I was just focusing on like this five first
I
and
got you.
showing
I
my
got you. I got you.
appreciation
I
for
got
them.
you.
So I'll say this with Avengers: Age of Ultron, it's one of those movies I love. Um, Ultron's introduction, his start into the whole universe, his whole monologues that we had. James Spader, I
Spader.
think,
Yeah. James
yeah,
Spader.
James Spader, phenomenal casting job. It's
Yeah.
okay
He
that
was
they
a good
changed the
choice.
voice actor to someone else. That's fine. He does a good job. But James Spader fucking embodied that character. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
agree.
He
I
said,
agree.
"There's
He
no
did a
more
great job.
strings wrapped around me." I said, "Oh, oh."
There's actually big rumors that Ultron is going to be coming back soon, like very
I
soon.
hope it's gonna be James Spader and not the other guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah. So, but again, with Avengers: Age of Ultron, it pretty much put the focus on the Avengers and how they are nowadays. Now that they're a group, now that they're officially, established. They're not just
Right.
these ragtag group of guys that came together to try to, save the world. They're an actual group. They organize. They take out all these big bads after the events of Winter Soldier. They try and take down Hydra and all their other shits and giggles. But then you know what? Obviously, you got Tony being Tony. Tony
Tony,
being Tony.
Tony, Tony.
But then again, with the whole Tony story arc, it kind of dwindled Tony's story arc more. It was like a downgrade from Iron Man 3. He seemed like he
I
was
don't think
so
so.
like I thought it was a little bit of a downgrade because we thought we were gonna get like a more like wise um Tony after Iron Man 3, but then he goes back and be like, you know what, still I'm gonna make fucking Ultron. We need to protect this world. But nevertheless, I thought that with Avengers Age of Ultron, I thought it did every single character justice. I just don't think it fleshed out every character's story arc that well. It was pretty much like those snippets, when Wanda was given all the Avengers, their nightmares, I guess.
Yeah,
I think that like that was cool, but it didn't delve into anything more than that. And it wasn't. It was obviously it got delved in later on in future installments, but at the time I didn't think they really just like sneak peeking us, and I thought that kind of weakened the movie as a whole.
Right.
Now, at the end with the whole was it Sokovia? With the whole Sokovia thing, I'm not gonna lie. At Age of Ultron, I was thinking in my head right there. I was like, bro, is this gonna be the time when we will get the Sokovia Accords? Like, I was like, this might be like what starts it. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but it was
It
one of
was,
the.
though.
Well, no, it was what happened in winter in Civil War.
That's
That's
true.
what
But they
that's what
also
started
they
it. But
quoted
they
what
were like,
happened in Sokovia a lot, though, as being
they
like one of the
did.
biggest contributing factors.
They did, but like, and the events of Sokovia, that was one of those times where it's like, yeah, they fucked up a town, but they saved the world. Let's be honest. Like a lot of people died, but they did
Yes.
save the world. So it was like one of those things, kind of like New York. Like you fucked up a good old 12 blocks of New York, but you saved the world again.
A lot of people died, but a lot of people didn't die. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
So it did. I thought after this one, it was one of those times where it's like they're really gonna start implementing something about the whole Accord stuff or the Superhero Registration Act, which was in the comics.
Right.
But again, Age of Ultron, dope Avengers movie. But yeah, I thought that they didn't really flesh out the characters all that well, and I thought that kind of weakened the movie. But again, there were
That's
so
fair.
many good things that happened in that
that's
movie.
fair.
So, yeah,
Like 100%. I get it.
that's my 5.
I get it. Colton, what's going on, buddy? He said, "What's up, guys? Here's my hot take. Spider-Man: No Way Home is just as good, if not better, than Endgame." Colton, I've got to be completely honest with you, brother. I agree. I do.
Wow.
It's up there. I mean, dude, seeing Toby's my Spider-Man, and seeing Toby for the first time, bro, I was like
I'd say
it was
like
nuts.
It was a nostalgia pool, pretty much.
It
And
was.
That's why for some people it seems to be a lot better than Endgame.
It was the
Like-
nostalgia Endgame for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's basically what it was.
Well, I was gonna say, Spider-Man: No Way Home was definitely a nostalgia pool that succeeded very well,
Yeah.
and Endgame was like a culmination kind of pull. Like this is the build up. This is what we are here to do, to fuck shit up. And I thought both movies did it very well. I'm not gonna say which one's better, but I'd say both of them did their job very well. They understood the assignment.
Yeah. So let me. Jaded said Age of Ultron is top 10 for me. All I'm gonna say is it is for me too, but I'm gonna leave it at that for now.
I believe it.
Now, let me say this. So my number 18 is Ant-Man. I enjoy Ant-Man. Again, it's not a movie that I'm going to go back and rewatch constantly. It's funny, it's cool, it's interesting, and it's different. It was one of those Ant-Man is one of those films where it's like, okay, this is something like new and different for the MCU. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, this isn't just the same cookie cutter, and I'm not saying they're cookie cutter. That's not what I mean. But it felt I'm really not. That's not at all what I mean. It didn't feel like a cookie cutter stereotypical superhero movie. It felt different and new. You know what I mean? Which I liked, and the addition of Paul Rudd was cool. Ant-Man and the Wasp actually surprised me a little bit with how much I enjoyed it. I went into Ant-Man and the Wasp thinking, okay, I gotta see the ending because I gotta know how it ties into Infinity War. I gotta know how it ties into Infinity War. Is it gonna tie into Infinity War? And of course, at the end, when they get trapped in the quantum realm and it shows the Scott's like, hey guys, hey, he's like, Hope, Hank, whoever, and you just see the dust fading away at the end. Like, that was nuts. It was a really, really cool way to end that film. And I will say, Ant-Man actually ended
It was like a hopeless cause at that point. It was
yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I guess Ant-Man's gone for a while.
Ant-Man and the Wasp actually surprised me. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but I was like, I remember at the end of it being like, that was a fun movie. Like, that was a fun ride. It was cool. The ghost thing was kind of annoying at first, but then it kind of like grew on me. I was like, okay, this is kind of like, this makes sense. Like, as it went on, I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, And even some of the action sequences in that were cool. Like when he throws the knife and the wasp is like parallel to the knife and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's some really, really cool sequences in that film that I
Yeah.
really enjoy. My number 16, I switched these two. My number 16 is Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, damn.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 it's a good one. I think I like it a little bit better than 3 because it feels more Tony is he's got a little bit more badass to him in that film. You know what I mean? He's
I
not
can see that.
he's not quite second guessing everything yet. Because he's still learning how to be Iron Man. I mean, that was only the third film in the MCU. You know what I mean? So like, he's still learning how to be Iron Man. He's still, he's still like, not learning, but he's still. It's not in its final form yet. You know what I mean? He's still
He's reaping in the benefits of officially coming out as Iron Man.
Exactly. Yes.
But it gave it a little bit of a somber taste because I thought that it made him more. I thought Iron Man 2, Tony was very much more reckless. I'd say he was probably at his most reckless in Iron Man 2, without a doubt.
He was, and I think that was on purpose because again, that's what started the arc that happens in Iron Man 3 and in Age of Ultron. I think that's what sparked that arc for him because in Iron Man 2 he is more reckless and it's the themes in Iron Man 2 are very much about him like the fact that he has come out as Iron Man isn't just affecting Tony Stark, it's affecting Rhodey, it's affecting Pepper, it's affecting the company, it's affecting all of the people around him, which I think is something that he didn't think about because again, old Tony Stark would have really only thought about himself. He wouldn't have had to think about Pepper and Peter and you know what I mean, the Avengers and the overall safety of the planet. Like he was just like, hey, I'm Tony Stark, I'm Iron Man. Like I can do anything because I'm Iron Man. You know what I mean? So I like the arc in Iron Man 2. I think it's a cool arc for Tony. And also I love the ending fight scene with all of the drones and him and Rhodey. When Rhodey becomes
that was like a minute, dude. That was like a minute.
It's cool though.
That was fire.
It's a cool fight scene though. My number 15 is Doctor Strange, and I've actually gone back and watched Doctor Strange 2 or 3 times. I think it's a fun one. I like the trippiness of it. I like the direction that it goes for the most part. Like the whole when he's becoming Doctor Strange and he's experiencing like all of the magic and all of that stuff for the first time, that was really, really cool. Like seeing him, you know, when he breaks his hands and seeing his ego and him kind of falling from his own ego. The way that that he kind of transforms his own personality and kind of evolves to where he's still egotistical Stephen Strange, but he's also like he's got more responsibility. He's
I about said
more. You know what I mean?
Doctor Strange is his egotistical nature has not changed whatsoever. His story,
no, it hasn't changed. He's still egotistical.
He has not reached any type of egotistical. He hasn't lost any of his ego whatsoever.
I think he's aware of it now, though. I think that's the thing is he's aware of like how his ego affects other people.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he's fully aware of his ability. And I think we've seen that with Spider-Man No Way Home. I think we've seen that with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think he's still trying to figure himself out and figure this magical world out, which is cool because it leaves more to like explore and discover. Like I assume that he's going to create his own Illuminati at some point now that he's seen how this Illuminati failed, now that he's seen the way that other versions of him have failed. You know, I think Strange is one of those characters that is always figuring the universe out. He's always like he's always thinking, he's always staying ahead. He's never stagnant. Like Tony Stark, like what we just talked about with Iron Man 2, Tony Stark was stagnant. He was like, okay, I can do anything because I am Tony Stark. I am Iron Man. He let the ego keep him still. Now that Strange is Doctor Strange, I think he accepts the responsibility of like, okay, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, so like I have to constantly be scouring the universe and have to be looking at what's coming next and being aware of threats and he's always learning and he's always thinking about it.
But I think when he lost the Sorcerer Supreme title, I think he kind of went back to his whole like bad boy recklessness kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess he kind of did, but I still think even though technically he's not the Sorcerer Supreme, like he still considers himself to be like the Sorcerer. You know what I mean? He's still Doctor Strange. You know?
Yeah.
But
he doesn't have that weight on his shoulder of being the Sorcerer Supreme, so he feels more freedom to like, fuck up the multiverse with Peter Parker, and then also break literal natural laws when he possessed a dead body, like and Multiverse of Madness. So Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange wouldn't have done that.
I agree, and so I mean, Doctor Strange, it's a fun one. I enjoy it. My number 14. I struggle with this film. My number 14 is Spider-Man: Homecoming, and you said something.
No,
was your 14? No. Here, Spider-Man: Homecoming is my least favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. Now, there are things that I like about it, but I think largely Homecoming doesn't feel very much like a Spider-Man movie. I think it feels like a Peter Parker, we're skirting around the idea of him being Spider-Man movie. And I don't know if that's because, like you said earlier, we were in the middle of the whole DC Sony, or not DC, Disney Sony thing with like who owns the rights to the character. So I don't know, but like if you think about it, there's not a lot of like Spider-Man things in it. Like, yes, the personality and stuff is there, but there's not a whole lot of swinging scenes. And like when I think of a Spider-Man movie, like I want swinging scenes. There's not a whole lot of like New York stuff in it. Like I know we got like the ferry and we got some cool New York things, but like even the final fight in Homecoming just kind of falls short for me. Like it just doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of payoff there. It feels very much like, it almost feels like one of the old Spider-Man TV shows where there's just not like the stakes aren't really that big. You know what I mean? And it's not against Tom Holland or any of the like it's a good movie. It's just not, it's missing some of the elements that I feel like make it a Spider-Man movie. You know what I mean? No Way Home felt like a Spider-Man movie. Far From Home started to feel like a Spider-Man movie. There were still swinging sequences. There were still moments where I was like, yep, that's Spider-Man. There were some moments in Spider-Man: Homecoming where I was like, it doesn't feel Spider-Man to me. You know what I mean? It feels
Spider-Man,
more acrobat and less Spider-Man.
Yeah. It was more like Night Monkey kind of thing.
Yeah, it just like I don't know, even the whole Washington Monument thing, it's cool, but he's not swinging and using his webs and doing Spider-Man things. He's just kind of being an acrobat, and like really strong. Like it just there's so many moments in that film where I'm like, man, this doesn't feel Spider-Man. This doesn't feel typical Spidey swinging through New York City type stuff. Like and Jaded, you bring up a really good point, dude. The stakes don't have to be huge for a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't even necessarily mean the stakes. I just mean like the vibe of what's happening just doesn't feel, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's never clicked with me 100%. I like it. It's a good movie. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. Like even Spider-Man 3, like Tobey's Spider-Man 3, I mean, say what you will about it, but it has some of the best Spider-Man moments ever. When he's in the black suit for the first time, some of the swinging sequences, when Peter and Harry team up at the end of it, like, I mean, there's some of the best Spider-Man sequences ever in that film. Yeah. Now, again, the story is not that great. If you want
a good Spider-Man moment, put him in a construction site with a bunch of beams.
Yeah, right.
Put him in a jungle gym.
It's guaranteed to be great if he's in a construction site. But yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming, the story is great. Here's my final thought on that. The story is great, but the Spider-Man stuff misses for me. It does.
Ooh.
It just doesn't feel very Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
I can see where you're
Spin the
coming
web
from.
any
Yeah.
size, catches thieves just like flight. No, it just
Yeah,
it doesn't. I know it doesn't feel. It doesn't hit 100% for me. So that's my thoughts on Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's a good movie. It's just not the best Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
So
All right. We taking a break real quick?
yeah, let's. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna take a little pee-pee break. And then grab another beer. So if you want to take your, are you gonna go take a little pee-pee break?
I mean, not when you're going. We're on a show.
Well, do you want to go first, or what do you want to do?
Here,
Okay.
I'll go first. I'll go get what I need to do, and then I'll be back. All right, guys.
All right, I'm gonna
Take care.
catch up on the chat real quick. Guys, thanks for hanging with us. Appreciate it. Colton said, "Same here, bro. Toby is my Spider-Man. I hope him and Garfield are in Secret Wars. I think they're gonna be, dude. I really do. I don't think we've seen the last of Toby and Andrew. I think if we have, it's a massive missed opportunity. But hopefully they will be in Secret Wars. There was actually." There was and I didn't do a video about it just because it's so hard to do videos about some of the supposed plot leaks, just because it's like, how do you keep up with that? Like, it's almost impossible to keep up with that stuff. But there was a supposed plot leak about Avengers Secret Wars, basically saying that just not super big details, but just laying out like kind of like roadmap of what basically happens in those films. So spoiler alert, possible spoiler, slight spoiler alert if you don't want to know that, but I believe so from as I understand it, Avengers the Kang Dynasty is basically like the current group of Avengers in our Earth trying to fight Kang, and Kang is basically building an army of himself, of variants of himself, to fight the Avengers and to try to get through all of these different, timelines and things like that. And I think the Avengers lose, kind of similar to what happens in Infinity War. Something multiversal happens with Kang. And then I believe Secret Wars is going to be the Avengers having to go get other heroes from different universes to try and fight Kang in one big climactic battle. That's basically, from what I have heard and what I understand, that's kind of the overall big term directions of the direction of what's happening with Secret Wars. So, Miguel, we were just saying, Colton said that he hoped that Toby and Andrew were in Secret Wars. And I said, from what I understand, I didn't do a video about it, but there was a plot leak a while back that had said
Well, those plot leaks are fake.
that, well, I don't even know if they're necessarily fake. I mean, you just can't necessarily like put a whole lot of stock into them. But the current rumor right now that I've heard quite a few times is that Avengers the Kang Dynasty is essentially going to be like, are we 616? Is that what we are? Is it Earth?
You're 616, yeah.
We're 616. Okay. So like the MCU Earth 616 Avengers are essentially going to be fighting Kang, and Kang is like, they're fighting variants of Kang, and the real Kang that I guess we'll meet in Quantumania is going to be bouncing between different universes, and they're trying to fight Kang. The Avengers lose at the end of that film, and then after the Avengers lose at the end of that film, Secret Wars is basically going to be them building the whole Avengers and the Avengers Endgame, like all the Avengers assemble moment, essentially them trying to make a massive team of Avengers out of other heroes from different universes. So that's how you're tying in Toby and Andrew and the Fox X-Men universe and all of those things. And the Fantastic Four,
Doesn't that seem
whenever
like a
that
cookie
comes.
cut kind of thing, though?
I don't know. It does a little bit, and I'm sure there'll be nuances that aren't, possibly, that you could predict, but so I don't know. Yeah. And Jaded, that's another huge question. Is he said, I just want to know who's playing Doctor Doom. That's a massive question. Not only who is playing Doctor Doom, but how much of a role would Doctor Doom play in that film? I mean, is Doom a main villain? Is Doom like a side character that we're setting up for the next one?
Is
There's
he gonna be a
also
Loki kind of thing?
yeah.
You know, like
There's also I don't know if you saw this, but this is like 100% confirmed. They almost put Galactus in a post-credit scene for Thor: Love and Thunder. They had
I saw
they
the
had
concept.
the concept art drawn up, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
why would you? No, like not yet. Like we're not at Galactus yet. Like
Can
he's
you
not.
imagine Galactus coming out like and Thor, Love and Thunder? A
Yeah,
lot of people be
like
upset about that.
arguably the goofiest Marvel film, and you're gonna throw in like maybe one of the biggest villains in the entire universe. Like
Yeah.
at the end of that, like in a post-credit scene, like I don't think that's the place to introduce him. Now, I'm not saying you can't introduce him in a post-credit scene, but not of Thor: Love and Thunder. That does that
Mhm.
no, that doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think Secret Wars is going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. Like Miguel and I have talked about this. I'm kind of like, and I guess I felt this way about the earlier Infinity Saga as well. I'm not 100% in yet because I don't necessarily see where it's going. It feels very all over the place right now between the Disney Plus shows, between what's happening in the films. It doesn't feel kind of like, oh, okay, I see where we're going. I see where we're moving. Really, Kang and the knowledge of the multiverse and different timelines is really the only thing that feels connected from film to film. That's basically it. There's not necessarily like an overarching theme or like something it feels like we're building towards. It just seems like a bunch of individual stories right now. Which again, the Infinity Saga felt like that too. So I mean, it's not like it's going to stay that way forever. You know what I mean? But it just
What,
feels
scattered?
Yeah, it feels very scattered. Well, I got some scattered pictures. No, it seems scattered right now. There's not a clear direction, and that's okay. I hope things become a little bit clearer, especially with Quantum Mania and what's the other big one coming up? Quantum Mania
He doesn't
and
know.
what am I blanking on right now? Miguel, help me.
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, no. No, what am I blanking on right now? Quantum Mania and what's the other big Marvel film?
I think it's
coming out this year?
Quantumania, dude.
No, there's two of them. No, what am I blanking on?
Are we blanking on these guys? I think we
Yes,
are. I don't
we
think
are.
we are.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And the Marvels.
There you go. Yeah, that.
Wow, that was terrible. I could not remember. I was completely blanking just now. So, I'll leave you with this before I go take my break. J-Dead said, I think we will see Doctor Doom in Secret Wars, but he won't be a main villain till much later. That's an interesting one. So
That is interesting.
I'll
I
be
guess.
back in just a few minutes.
So, if you're going to think that Doctor Doom is going to be in Secret Wars, but he won't be a main villain until much later, does that mean you're thinking that Secret Wars is going to be toned down a little bit? Because you know how, like in Civil War is pretty much like two fucking novels of a whole storyline of like the whole like superhero registration act, but then it kind of got toned down to like a small little skirmish, you know, between the Avengers. Whereas Civil War was between like the entire Marvel universe and how they're interacting with the Superhero Registration Act. With Secret Wars, though, you literally have like you start out with the Illuminati. Like you start out with the Illuminati, like saying like these worlds are colliding. We're getting I forgot what Reed called them. But you have like worlds colliding, and like the Illuminati is finding out like the only way we can like save these universes is by destroying another. And then you get this huge battle between the whole like this I think it's the superior universe, and then Earth was 616, and then it all blows up into like to become Secret Wars, and it all comes down to like Doctor Doom, like you know, pretty much orchestrating the entire thing, and ends up becoming like King Doom or whatever. Let me see. You said, yeah, I think he's gonna be like that when he wasn't. I think he's not gonna be like that in the comics. You know what? If that's the case, I would have much rather have seen Secret Wars much later on. Like flush out Secret Wars for a long time, I'd say. because I want to see Doom's character evolve. I want to see him interact with the Fantastic Four first as like their antagonist, and then him becoming like a low-key kind of like villain, here and there, everywhere, kind of being a nuisance and whatnot. And it leads up to him like, finding like the pure power of what of the Infinity Gauntlet and all that. And I think, see, I used to think that Kang was gonna be like a side like villain, kind of like Ultron was. Like he was just like a side big bad kind of thing. Like it was gonna be like world ending for sure, but Kang was just gonna be like a side evil person. The whole big thing was gonna happen, probably with Doctor Doom. Because I'm a little confused with like how they want this story to go. Because I'm already thinking like, what happens after Secret Wars? After Secret Wars in the comics, it's rebooted, man. At that point, like the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, the whole Marvel universe, it pretty much rebooted after Secret Wars. Like all the Earths come back in like their own respective universe, and some are mixed and mangled with others, and there's no like giant like collateral damage that's gonna happen. But yeah, I thought Kang was gonna be like a small time, like a side villain or whatever. Jada, listen, if I could pull up your thing on this, I really would. I just don't have the power. Even though I'm paying for this, I don't have the power to do it. You said it's going to be interesting to see how they fit all this in compared to the comics. Might be a lot covered in the Disney Plus series to tie up loose ends. Yes, I agree. I think that with how uh, Disney Plus is going, which I think they're doing a good job, it could be better. But again, this is their first time. This is phase one of the Marvel TV shows of the Disney Marvel TV shows. This is phase one of them. Like it's obviously going to be scattered and probably not as good as you think. But I think LOL. I think throughout the next few years, I think that the different phases of the Disney shows, it'll definitely be much more impactful, and I think it will tie up loose ends. I think that's pretty much what Disney Plus is going to be. But who knows? Maybe we might end up with like feature length Disney shows, kind of like Werewolf by Night, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Those two are without a doubt my favorite out of the entire Disney Plus shows. Those are my favorite ones. So I think that Disney Plus does have an opportunity to expand the universe much further and tie up loose ends much better as compared to a feature length film. That's going to be slated, 12 years down the line. So,
You know what I think?
what, dog?
I think it's time for another beer.
Dog, I'm hungry as fuck. So I'm eating. As you guys can see, I'm just eating a bag.
All right, John Taffer would be a little bit prouder.
That's a lot of foam. That's a lot of air going
John
in your gut right
Taffer.
now.
John Taffer says there should be a lot of foam.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, I'm not a bartender, but who knows? I don't know. So I don't know. But another thing, I was kind of thinking about this a minute ago. Another thing that's going to be very interesting to see is now that Bob Iger is back as the... People don't think that's a big deal. That's a big deal because Bob Iger is the person who saw the potential in Marvel to buy it back in 2000... When was that? 12? 11? 2012? So. I don't even know. But he saw the potential to buy it, and Bob Iger is also very, like, more quality, less quantity. So I think instead of spitting out a Disney Plus show like 4 times a year and then 3 movies on top of it, I think he's more like, hey, let's focus on the overall story and do individual things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so I'm good with that. Honestly,
how big
the
a
Disney
surprise would it be if Bob Iger's like, hey, Disney Plus shows, cut it?
I don't think they'll cut it. But I do think there's something you said about more the special presentation thing, like what they did with Werewolf by Night or the Guardians of the Galaxy special. I think, hi baby, I do think that we're in for more of those. I do. Okay. Now the big one that's rumored, right?
What?
The big one that's rumored right now for them to be working on for a special is Ghost Rider.
Hell yeah, I'm okay with that,
dude. A Ghost Rider special could be lit.
Damn, that was loud.
If I could jump through this screen right now.
Did you enjoy that?
No, I didn't.
You want to come rub my back for me, sweetie?
Absolutely not.
So yeah, I don't know. That's going to be another very interesting thing to see is like whether or not they keep the same formula that they've had under Bob Chapek, or whether or not they'll kind of change things up. I don't know. There's also rumors that they're pushing things back. Which I said that from the day that they announced everything. As soon as they announced Secret Wars for 2025 or 26, I was like, bro, there ain't no way we're getting Secret Wars in 2 years, 3 years. Like there's just no way. Like they're gonna take their time, and if they don't, I'll be a little concerned. Then I'll be like, okay, why are we rushing this right now? Like, we took 11 years to do the first one. Like, why are we trying to be like, and boom, we're going to get this out? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Jaded said, Brad Foster is Ghost Rider? What do you mean Foster is Ghost Rider? I'm calling it now. Foster. Oh, you mean like who
Yeah,
Foster?
Brad
What
Foster,
actor?
Yeah.
Brad Foster? Like, that's his name? I thought you were saying
Yeah.
me. Who's Brad Foster?
We
Why
don't
do I
know
not
who
know who
Brad
Brad
Foster is.
Why do I not know who Brad Foster is? Oh, Brad Foster is a British professional boxing champion who has held the British and Commonwealth bantamweight title since 2019. I don't know who that is.
I feel like that's not right.
Yeah, he looks like a tiny Brad Foster actor.
Jaded, you might have to expound on this one.
Yeah, I have no idea who you're talking about. I'm completely confused. I don't know. I don't know who that is. You know who? Listen.
But
okay.
if they do end up with a Ghost Rider TV show, I'd be hype on that too.
Okay. Poll. Right now. You can only pick one to be the MCU's Ghost Rider. Which Ghost Rider is a pretty important character in the comic books. Norman Reedus or Keanu Reeves. Who's your Ghost Rider?
Johnny Cage. Nicolas Cage.
Wrong choice.
Right choice. Bring back Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Nick
Listen,
Cage.
I would,
After
however,
Dark.
be okay with him making a cameo appearance, though, in Secret Wars. I would be 100% okay with that. I'm not ashamed to say that I would be.
That would be dope. If they get a cameo of Nick Cage in a Ghost Rider
that'd be
movie,
cool. That'd be pretty
that'd be
cool.
fucking hilarious. It'd be like one
Yeah,
of those,
he said, damn it, I'm getting his name wrong.
oh, okay.
So,
All right, well, who do I want?
Keanu Reeves or Norman Reedus for Ghost Rider?
I do Norman Reedus then, honestly.
Yeah, I'm okay with either, but I think Norman Reedus would be cool. I think he'd be a cool choice. I think Keanu would be cool too, but I'm kind of like, Keanu, I feel like there's a better role for Keanu.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like Norman Reedus could nail the Ghost Rider thing, and I think Keanu Reeves would be fine, but I feel like there's a better role for Keanu. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know what that would be, but I just feel like there's a better option for him.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like kind of like Nick Cage, kind of like Christian Bale right now, because he's saying that he'd love to play another Marvel character, and I think yeah, he did a pretty good job as Gore the God Butcher. But I feel like he'd probably do a fantastic job in other roles in the MCU. So I mean, who knows? I'd be down for it.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you say? Do you want to go to our next five? So we've made it through our bottom 14 or so. So we've got, so what is that? We made it to 14, 23, 22, 22.
So we'd be at 13 right now.
Okay, so this is going to be 13 through 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So 9 through 13. Mm-hmm. Number 9 through number 13. Okay. Our MCU Infinity Saga ranking, number 9 through number 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, let's write this thing out. This is where I'm pretty sure mine is going to be set. I've switched a few of them around. These 9 through 13, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm pretty okay. I'm like, all right, this is pretty. I'm pretty set here.
With
set in my
your bottom?
ways. Yes, I like my butt.
Oh yeah.
You know whose butt I like better though?
Don't you dare say mine. I haven't been able to work on mine in a long time.
Um,
Can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm trying
There's
to
a lot
write
of
these
words
short
to
down.
wait in this one. Dang.
That's what I'm trying to. That's
There's
what
a
I'm
lot
trying
of
to write these short.
there's a lot of words to write.
All right. There's mine. You know what? I'll let you go first this time.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
There's one that I think is going to really piss you off. Wow, I just spelled the name wrong too. Extra piss you off.
Let me see. Hey, dude, you said Ben Foster?
For Ghost Rider.
Oh. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Ben Foster. Hold on, let me see who that is. Ben Foster.
I could see him. Yeah, I could see it. He was in Hell or High. He was in Hell or High Water.
I could maybe. Okay.
You gotta see him not smiling, dog.
Yeah.
You gotta see him.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. When it's like his like actor profile shot, and he's like I don't know if I can't see it like that, but yeah, I could. I don't know. That'd be interesting. All right, number 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 of the Infinity Saga. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All
I want you to show it to me now.
One more sip.
He wants one more sip before he shows all.
All right. Here we go. Number 9 through 13. Are we showing at the same time, or am I just doing mine?
Do your. Oh yeah, I'll show you mine. All right, you ready?
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
All right, 3,
All right.
2, 1.
Boom. Hey, we shared one. Hey, we have one that's the same.
Where?
Our number 9 is the same. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, respect.
Our number 9 is the same. Okay.
You can go.
Okay, my number 13. I'll start at the bottom.
Okay.
My number 13 is Thor Ragnarok.
That's a problem,
I like Ragnarok. It's
Rag whose cock?
Thor, grab my cock. It's one of it's probably my favorite Thor movie. I also like what they did with the Hulk. I like that we got the little baby planet Hulk storyline in there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot. They made his character a little bit more interesting. Like, I love the fight scene between the two of them. I think Ragnarok was the best balance between serious and funny. I think The Dark World was too serious. I think Love and Thunder was too funny and lighthearted. Like, I feel like there could have been a little bit of a better balance between the two. And I think Thor Ragnarok worked so well and resonated with so many people. I mean, that's a lot of people's favorite Marvel film is Ragnarok.
It's a lot. It's a pretty big fan favorite, honestly.
It is. And I think the part of the reason that it resonated with people so well was because it had such a good blend of comedy and of like serious like superhero action, progressing Thor's story. Yes, I agree, Jada. Jeff Goldblum was a really nice touch in there as well.
He was.
I also just love Jeff Goldblum, dude. There's a show on Disney Plus called The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and it's literally Jeff Goldblum like going around like exploring random things, and it's so funny. Like, I love him so much. Like, Jeff Goldblum is like an American treasure, and like we need to protect him at all costs. I love him. But Ragnarok is fun. I love the whole, like, I love seeing Thor become Thor. You know what I mean? Because, like, a lot happens to him in that film. I like him and Loki kind of getting back together and working together again. The first time, like, the actual lightning and stuff happens with his hands and he becomes all, like, you know, Rage Thor. Like, oh, that was really, really cool. It was a fun film. My number 12... Miguel, I'm sorry. My number 12 is Black Panther. I apologize.
You know, handing that one.
Well, I know a lot of people would be like, he put Far From Home and The Incredible Hulk above Black Panther. I did, because as much as I like Black Panther and as much of a cool, cultural, awesome piece it is, again, it's not my favorite character. It's not my favorite. He's not my favorite hero. I love him, and I love Chadwick Boseman, and I love Denai Guerrera, and I love a lot of what they did with that film. Again, it is a beautiful cultural piece. Like it really, really is. And I like a lot of what they did with it. It's a very rewatchable movie, but it doesn't necessarily. It's not a. It's kind of. It falls into Captain Marvel territory for me. It's a great movie, but I don't want to rewatch it all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. It's not. I know some people. There are people that would go there, and I'm not even going to acknowledge that. But I love the movie, but it's just
you.
Black Panther is not my favorite superhero of all time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's a great one, but he's not my personal favorite. And I do enjoy the film. I think it's a really, really great film. I really, really do. There's some incredible action in there, but it's not in my top 10. So, speaking of ones that are also not in my top 10, this was a tough one. I debated on whether or not to put this as my number 10, but The Incredible Hulk is my number 11, and I've said this before. Actually, my number 11 is 69mega.com. Oh, Tinder, our girls write fast. That's my whatever. Go away. We don't.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the comments. I was like, "Fuck, dude."
I am talking about the comments. I'm talking about the chat, the bot. No, but my number 11 is The Incredible Hulk, and I struggled with whether or not to put this one as number 10. I love the Hulk. Like, the Hulk is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. Bruce Banner is one of, like, I love the whole, I adore the whole story with Bruce Banner and that inner struggle he has. I mean, it's one of the most classic comic book storylines of all time. That struggle between, like, am I a monster or I'm a person who's trying to do their best, you know? And The Incredible Hulk did a lot of things really well. Like you said, it did the Abomination storyline really well. It did the Bruce Banner. Like, I think I like the Bruce Banner villain, or the, like, fugitive stuff more than I like the actual Hulk stuff. Like, Edward Norton did a really, really fantastic job with that. It just... There's a few things, like, honestly, I like the look and the design of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk better. And I'm not talking Professor Hulk, I'm talking Savage Hulk. I like Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk better than I like this Hulk. But I wish that Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk had the savageness of this Savage Hulk. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, it's not my favorite look for the Hulk.
Mark Ruffalo just thinks it's gratuitous, that's all.
Yes. But listen, Homeboy did not mess around in this film. Like, you crossed the Hulk in this movie and you're done. Like,
he
really did.
The smoke.
And there, like I said, there's a lot of cool things. I love the constant struggle of, of the Betty thing and of, like the Betty Ross thing. I mean, even like Thunderbolt Ross himself is awesome in this movie. That whole thing. I love when they finally arrested Bruce and Ross and Betty, and they're all up there in the helicopter, and Bruce is like, "You gotta let me go," or whatever. And like when Abomination is like wrecking, like, he's tearing shit up, and he's like, "You gotta let me go," or whatever. And Ross like grabs his arm or whatever, and he's like, "You're not going anywhere." And he's like, you gotta let me go. Like, I'm the only one who can stop him or whatever. And when he jumps out of the helicopter and stuff, and he goes, "Oh and then he hits the ground. You know what I mean? Because he didn't change. Like, there's so many really, really cool moments in that film. And I particularly love the beginning because it's honestly, it's a little scary, like a little bit. Like, it's got a couple of freaky moments with the Hulk there at the beginning when he's starting to change and, his blood is dripping, and like, it's pretty cool. It's a cool film.
Oh yeah, the whole idea of
really
like his blood like infesting like the entire world already.
Yeah. Well, and we even got just like a little taste of like how tough it is to be Bruce Banner. Like, even when him and Betty go to sleep together, like, And he's got his
That's
Apple
trouble.
Watch thing that's like monitoring his heartbeat, and like, you know, as they're getting more like into each other and whatever, like his heartbeat's getting faster, and his watch is like, bro, stop, 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 you're gonna kill somebody, like, you know what I mean? And he's like, I can't do this or whatever. Like, you get a
it's not
glimpse
even-
between the
It's not about him
stuff,
being mad,
right?
though. They kind of opened that idea. It's not him being mad. It's just his like,
Right.
like if his adrenaline starts kicking, then that's when you got Hulk coming out.
Yes. So I like that film a lot. I think it's a really good one. Number 10, this kind of hurts my heart to do it, but I think I needed to. Spider-Man Far From Home was my number 10. Now, I'll say this. I think Far From Home felt like a strange place to end a saga.
It's like an epilogue. What are you talking about?
It is like an epilogue, and I think that's kind of how I look at it. I almost feel like the saga should end with Endgame, and Far From Home should be the thing that kicks off the next little bit. But it's okay the way it happened, because, again, it feels like an epilogue. It feels like a continuation of what happened with Peter Parker's story. And the thing that puts it above The Incredible Hulk for me is that this movie, like Peter's arc in this film and some of the Spider-Man stuff was redeemed from Homecoming. Some of the things that didn't feel quite as Spider-Man in the first one, I think fixed a little bit in this one. It fixed itself. Now, again, a lot of it was not set in New York. I have an issue with that. Spider-Man is a New York villain, a New York
Villain.
hero.
There you
Like
go.
he's a villain. He
Okay,
he
J.
is
Jonah
very
Jameson.
much I want pictures of Spider-Man. He's very much a New York person, and like I want to see Spider-Man in New York. Like the ending swinging scene was awesome. It just, like, the thing that I loved the most about Far From Home is when obviously, like, there's the whole him getting the glasses and Peter going through the whole thing of, like, I don't deserve this. Like, I don't deserve what Tony was trying to do for me. The thing that the moment that I love the most from Spider-Man Far From Home, and it's my favorite happy moment in the entire MCU, more than the cheeseburgers thing, more than, the moments between Happy and Tony. Like, I love the moment when Happy goes and picks Peter up after Mysterio wrecks his shit.
Yeah.
And Happy says, I don't think Tony would have done what he had done if he knew that you weren't going to be the one standing behind him, standing in his place after. And I was just like, okay, that hit me hard. When I heard that line in the theater, I was like,
Tears.
like I was like, there's one tear coming down my face right now. Like, like that one hit me hard, and I think that's why this film gets put above the Hulk, because it had
It had that emotional pull.
It did. It had more of it didn't feel. I don't want. Homecoming didn't feel empty. That's not what I want to say. That's like the wrong term. That's the wrong word. It had something that it had something that Homecoming didn't, and I don't even. It's very hard to put my finger on what exactly that is, but it felt more Spider-Man to me. You know what I mean? Because you even see Peter, like, crafting the new suit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It didn't.
You didn't get the
Far
with
From
great
Home
power
felt
comes
better.
great responsibility kind of thing.
I didn't get that vibe in Homecoming, and I got that vibe in Far From Home. Even though it didn't play. There were obvious things. I mean, there were issues with the film that I had, but. And the Mysterio thing was cool. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio was great. Loved it. It was an awesome choice.
That's a good choice. I'm not gonna lie. Was that 10?
Mhm.
It was 10.
It made my top 10. Far From Home made my top 10.
Nice.
Now that when I say it that way, it sounds nuts. Like it
Nah.
shouldn't be there, but I don't know.
Did you do your number 9?
No, I didn't do my number 9 yet. We can talk about our number 9 together. Our number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true.
This was a film that I think shocked many people. I don't think, me included, I don't think anybody expected to enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy as much as they did. But it shocked everybody. Everybody seemed to love it. It was funny. It was serious. It had emotion. It had depth to every single character. And that goes to show you how talented James Gunn is. Every single character got their moment. They got their story. They got their limelight. And that's why I don't understand why people are freaking out so much about. I don't know why people are freaking out so much about the whole DC thing with James Gunn, because like I think James Gunn, between the Suicide Squad stuff and between the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, I think James Gunn has shown that he is very much a character first person. So that's why I don't really get why everybody's like freaking out that he's ruining DC and stuff. I'm like, bro, I think he's gonna write good characters. I think he's gonna
Bro, he hasn't even
do
like
what's.
made his first project yet. Like, calm down.
I know, like I think everybody's We're gonna do a whole video about that too. I think everybody's freaking out about the DC thing, and they need to stop. Like they
Calm
need
down.
they need to calm down with that. Like it's gonna be okay. Like
You're gonna be fine.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but DC was dead in the water. It was. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I'm. I don't know. Again, topic for another video. We have lots more to cover in this one, but I think this film proved it definitely proved that James Gunn is one hell of a talented director.
He's a
And
high caliber director.
He wrote really, really good characters, because I loved the character development in this film. I loved the space exploration stuff. It also felt different because it was one of the first ones, really, now that I think about it. It was one of the first films it was the first one that wasn't based on Earth, because the original release slate was Iron Man, the Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, the First Avenger, the Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, which I guess you could say Thor the Dark World
The
was,
final battle was based on Earth, so
right, and you could say that Thor the Dark World was a cosmic thing, but Guardians of the Galaxy was the first real like cosmic adventure where like 95% of the movie took place in space and on other planets and things like that. So it felt different. It felt cool. My number 9 is Guardians of the Galaxy. So 13 was Thor Ragnarok. 12 was Black Panther. 11 was The Incredible Hulk. Number 10 was Spider-Man Far From Home, which feels weird saying that's in my top 10, but I have to put it there. I have to. And then number 9 was Guardians of the Galaxy. So
okay. Respect. I respect the list. No, watch him tear up mine. All right.
yeah,
All right. At number 13, we got the one and only Iron Man.
boo!
Listen, guys.
You're a phony.
Iron Man,
You're a big fat phony.
the original Iron Man. This was the very first movie that I pre-ordered. This is the first movie that I pre-ordered. So that goes to show how much history I have with this one. I absolutely loved Iron Man, and I love the fact that this was the starting point. You say what you will. You say what you will. This was the starting point for what we all know and come to love. Now, Tony's introduction into the cinema, pretty much, because there wasn't any Iron Man movies out there. This was Iron Man's introduction, and I thought Jon Favreau did a fantastic job in presenting Iron Man into the world.
Right.
Huge gamble. This movie was a huge gamble of setting up what we know now with a very rundown actor at the time. This man was so low level. Robbie Downey Jr. was literally so low level, and he was just getting back into his groove. He was getting sober. He was righting all of his wrongs, and then Marvel decided to take a huge risk on him. And I think that's why the reason why it worked so well with Robert Downey Jr. is the reason why they're doing so well in choosing like low named actors to take on these big roles. And I can accommodate Iron Man for being what it is. Literally the match that sparked the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Storyline behind it was phenomenal. Just the whole 10 yards of this movie was pretty great. Now, obviously, at the time watching the movie, you didn't really think much of it. Okay, it was just a really dope movie of introducing Iron Man. It was very grounded to earth. It wasn't necessarily like way too technologically advanced.
Right.
Like it made you feel like an Iron Man suit could be made around that time. Like it could be made. And I thought that the way they introduced all the characters and set the foundation for the Marvel Cinematic Universe was done beautifully. Now,
And it was done without you even knowing what was happening.
not
Like
even knowing what was happening.
nobody had any idea that that was going to sprout all of
Nobody
this. You know
knew.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Which
nobody
made
knew
it all the better. You know.
until the very end. You had Nick Fury coming out, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, is this what we're doing now?" Like this. That was pretty much Marvel saying, like, "Hey, this works. This works right here. We're doing a whole lot more. So let's keep making it work." So now, now we move on to number 12, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, when I talk about like street level superhero movie, this is pretty like it started out like a pretty street level superhero movie. I thought it was very like CIA like Black Ops esque kind of thing, and I loved it so much because you pretty much put the World War II propaganda Captain America all you know red, white, and blue stripes and stars kind of superhero that we got in the World War II of Captain America, the first Avengers, and you turn him to the Spec Ops secret agent. You know, he knows kung fu and he's starting to do more choreographic moves with the whole shield and everything. I thought that the way they introduced Captain America in this movie was very well done. It set the tone for how how Steve Rogers was going to look at the world moving forward. Because obviously this is past World War II. They knew who the common enemy was. They knew Steve Rogers knew who he was fighting. With this one, Steve didn't really know who he was fighting for and who he was fighting against because of the whole Hydra situation.
Right.
Now, when it comes down to Steve and Bucky's relationship, the big reveal when it was revealed that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, and the relationship between those two, and you could just see the acting that Chris Evans was able to like really shoot out the gate in this movie. It was very well done. The choreographed fight scenes was phenomenal. It was awesome that they had George St. Pierre in there. It's cool that they are bringing back George St. Pierre every now and then. We brought him back twice with Falcon and Winter Soldier. But yeah, the whole choreographed fight scenes so well done. If you want to talk about choreographed fight scenes, like Captain America Civil War,
it's amazing.
Captain America
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, top notch. Like
Yeah.
you go back to the scene with Bucky and Steve fighting, like absolutely like stellar.
God,
Now the whole Hydra underground like sneaking into Shield, big old twist. I'd say that was. I'm sure that surprised a lot of people knowing that Hydra still. It was not surprising that Hydra's still around, but the fact that they pretty much are Shield was a pretty big surprise for me at least. And it was so cool to bring old characters back from the original Avengers, which was Zemo, I think. No, not Zemo. Zola. It was Zola. Bringing back Zola into the fold and everything. It was your introduction to Falcon, who is, in my eyes, I love Falcon. Okay, I love Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson's absolutely dope. So his introduction was pretty fucking dope. And this was another pivotal moment with what started the Sokovia Accords. This was one of the movies that set in motion the day of Civil War. So yeah, that was a very important movie. I liked it a lot. My only thing is that like as much I didn't think I would like a more grounded to earth. I guess like grounded to earth kind of Marvel movie. There was no super like flying and like buildings like being like completely destroyed. It was just like a simple battle. But I mean, obviously there were helicarriers and all that stuff and all that happened. But it wasn't like it didn't feel like an Avengers level threat. And at that time, I'm sure I felt like I wanted that, but I didn't think I'd find myself enjoying it a lot more than I did.
Yeah.
So
It still felt, even though it wasn't Avengers level threat, it still felt like the stakes were so high, though.
yeah, the stakes are definitely really
that's
high.
That's
Yeah.
what felt so cool about it,
Mm-hmm. It was definitely like a spy movie. It was the Marvel spy movie. So now, move on to number 11, Iron Man 2. I know that was very low on yours, But you gotta understand, I'm a big Iron Man fan. I
I feel like
love
you were
Iron Man.
throwing shade at that. It was very low on yours.
No, but I thought Iron Man 2 outdid I thought Iron Man 2 was a good sequel to Iron Man.
I
I
agree.
really did because it followed the story of what happens after Iron Man pretty much said, "I am Iron Man." Like he was like, "That's some shit to do." No superhero does that. No superhero is like, you know what, fuck it. I don't care about my friends and family. I'm
Hit
gonna show
me.
who I am.
He said, "Hit
So
me."
so pretty much that pretty much opened the world, opened the world to Iron Man and to Tony Stark's relationship, as if he wasn't already a big time celebrity. Now he's
Right.
this big time superhero celebrity,
Yeah.
and as fun as that may have as fun as that may have seemed, what made that movie so good was the fact that they made it so over the top with his like popularity, but then they added the whole aspect of like the arc reactor that's supposed to be saving him
Right.
is actually killing him, which
Hmm.
now makes him like only a year or so after announcing that he's Iron Man. Now he's got like less than like 6 months to live. So it's like Tony being Tony, he wants to still be alive, but he's like, if I got this much time left, I'm just gonna fucking ball out. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
was a very much a selfish kind of thing for him to do, but at the same time it was so much like what Tony would do.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to bring up back with the whole relationship between Howard and how Howard was laying the groundwork for Tony, and the whole Stark Expo being like a whole new thing about with creating a new element. Like you really did get to see like Tony Stark's ability and his intellect in this movie full force. The man created a fucking element out of a fucking diorama.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
like what?
Yeah.
So,
Jay did. That's a really good point. He said Tony was reminded that he was human in two.
absolutely, I
Yes.
agree with that.
Yes.
He was human in that he actually needs the people around him actually matter to him. And
Yes.
it made him understand that like he is not this like after announcing that he's Iron Man, that he's just made out of iron. He's just absolutely invincible. He's
Yeah.
not. He's very much a human being. And I thought in this one, he definitely came to grasp of that knowledge of like I could die the next day.
Right.
That didn't stop his ego, obviously, as we can see, but it told him that like I could be dead the next day. What am I gonna do to make sure the people around me are safe? My immediate surroundings. So like Pepper, Happy, um, Rhodey, all of them, his three friends that he's been with forever. Like those
Right.
are important to him. So his main goal is protecting those people. But
Right.
obviously, as we can see, his people grew more. So Iron Man 2, pretty dope. Whiplash, he was an okay kind of villain. Um, Hammer, he was an alright kind of villain. I'll say that. But again,
Yeah.
those fight scenes that we talked about before, fucking stellar too. So
Right.
Iron Man 2, dope. Now, number 10, The Avengers. Understand this, guys. It was hard for me to put the Avengers right here because I love The Avengers. The Avengers felt like such a comic book movie. That was the most comic book movie I could ever see. When you watch The Avengers, it feels so different than any other Marvel movie that we've
Yeah.
had.
Yeah. I agree.
It feels it feels almost like you're reading a comic book from the get go of these people coming together. It was absolutely dope because you got to see each one of these characters uh, meet each other, find differences, find similarities, come to tension, and then come to realization of needing to work together. And it all culminated down to the whole major fight scene in New York, which I thought was absolutely dope. Seeing them all fight together, seeing Thor work with Thor work with Bruce, and Steve Rogers working with Tony, and Natasha working with Steve, and all that stuff, and Iron Man working with Hawkeye. Like all of those little interactions that was happening throughout those small blocks was absolutely fire. This was something that we never seen before in our lives. Obviously, we've had other like team ups and whatnot of other superheroes or other like superhuman people,
Right.
but in regards to a comic book, we never. I'm pretty sure a lot of people never thought this day would come, and it
Yeah.
came. Now, while I say this, it felt very childish. I'll say that right there. The Avengers did feel very much like it was marketed towards a very young audience. I would say there were some
It kind of
elements.
had that feeling to it. I
Yeah,
could
there.
see where I could see why you would say that.
Yeah, there were some elements that were very mature, but it was very much marketed towards like a younger audience because at that point, Marvel was pretty much being picked up by younger kids at that time. I mean, we were in high school at that time. I think I'd say we were in high school. Yeah,
Late high school, yeah.
late high school. Yeah. So obviously, like we could say that I could say that it was very much marketed towards people much younger than us at that time. So yeah, Avengers number 10, real good.
The thing
Now,
is, though, what's cool about that though is like even if it was, I don't know if it was purposely marketed towards younger people, but like
mhm,
even if it was, it still appealed to everybody. You know what I mean? Like
it did.
that's cool because like one of the coolest things is like I remember seeing this video and it was like, you have to remember with the MCU stuff, like especially with the Avengers. I mean, there are grandparents that read the comic books when they were a kid and shared it with their kids, and now they're taking their kids and their grandkids to go see the Avengers in the movie theater. And like J-Dead said, the rotating shot of all the Avengers standing there like back to back, like he said that was the moment he realized it was hitting on another level. I mean, that is one of those like comic accurate moments that just, I think that shot was mind blowing for
Mhm.
multiple generations of people. No matter who it was marketed to, no matter what, like no matter who you were, like everybody was a kid in that moment. Because when you see them back to back, it was just like, this is happening right now. Like this is real. Like I'm watching the Avengers like together, all of those characters on a screen right now. Like that had never happened before. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Now it's like this is it. That's it. You're not gonna have more characters in it. You know what I mean? Because now that we've
Yeah.
seen Endgame, it's like okay, well now they're all the Avengers. But it's just it's nuts. Like that is something that I don't think people will ever experience again. I don't. I think that was a very unique moment in cinema history because I
Mhm.
don't think people will experience the same kind of thing as that ever again. It
I
was
feel you on
amazing.
that. Yeah, and obviously with number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, another reason why I think James Gunn is perfect for the role for heading DC. I am not a person that hates DC. I'm that's for Marvel hates DC. I want to see DC succeed. I want to see it succeed so much,
Yeah.
and I think that whether or not James Gunn worked with Marvel before, if James Gunn is willing to put forth what we believe is going to be a phenomenal franchise, I'm gonna be 100% for that. I was 100% for the Snyder cut. I was 100% for every single thing that needed to be done, but it kept dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. Like things kept
Yeah.
failing, things kept getting pushed. It was like they didn't show us that like they had a plan,
Right.
and I think that's partially on our fault because we want to see the plan. We didn't want to trust the process. But again, like throw us a bone every now and then. Like, the first Iron Man threw us a bone and it
Yes.
landed perfectly. With DC, you kept trying to throw us bones, but I swear to God, you were chucking that motherfucker like 20 feet away from me, and I'm like 2 inches from
Yeah.
his face. Like, it was like, okay, like, what's that going to do? So, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, ragtag group of folks, thieves, assassins and a fucking tree, and you wouldn't think this kind of group would be such a lovable group with the whole MCU community, but it works so well.
It
I
did.
also think that like the reason why it worked so well was the fact that it was like tugging on our little like our nostalgia because with the music, the music I think is what really set the tone for Guardians of the Galaxy with his mix with Peter Quill's mixtape. I think that really set the tone
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
just the feel good moment of the
It's
songs of Michael Jackson, Blue Suede, and let me think. Fuck, I'm forgetting all these other songs.
there's a ton of things on
Redbone,
there.
yeah,
It
like
it's amazing how much of a it's amazing how much of a part music played in that movie. But it's cool too. Like that goes to show you how important that stuff is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so cool how they made literally old 1980s and 70s songs be a part of the story pretty much. And I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Also, we got introduced to Thanos, like real
Yes.
Thanos.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I like that. Fuck Thanos. It wasn't just Thanos. It was fuck
the
Thanos.
ways of your blood.
Yeah.
I said, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. We like.
He said, you made Ronan a fucking bitch right there.
Yeah.
I was like, you saw
And Ronan's
was
not a
like-
character to mess with. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Ronan's not a character, but he was
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't.
Ronan goes, damn.
He's like, golly. Yeah.
So let's do this. So we're up to our top 8 here. Before we do our top 8, we have some people that we need to thank, and we have a couple of things that I personally just wanted to say. But before we do this, a couple of people that we have to thank. First of all, Jules and Sierra, thank you guys, because this takes a lot of time. Anybody who's done this, yes, shout out to our beautiful ladies. We love them both very much.
I hope you're not seeing this one. No offense, because I hope you doesn't spoil the whole fucking franchise for you.
Yeah, that's fair. But I this takes a lot of time, and it, obviously, like, my world is changing a little bit. I'm about to be a dad. Like, there's other things that we could be doing, and like we love this, and this has become a really big piece of us. And I just like thank the two of them for allowing us to do this, and for supporting us in this. That means a lot. Also,
Two of the real ones.
yes. Also, many of the people we've had on the show, there's number like 8 or 9, whatever. For real, Jaded, they put up with our. Oh, that was
a bad one. It went down the wrong pipe. Didn't it, Doug? And he proceeds to drink more. Trooper.
Oh, I need a. Whew, I need a moment after that
My
one.
man needs a quick breathing break.
I'm pulling that Rick Grimes. Need a moment. Like I need that.
You need a refresher on how to.
For real though, they put up with our crap all the time.
They do.
And I'm very, very thankful. Jay, he said I tasted that one. Yeah, that one was that. They're usually not bad for me, but that one was bad. But just thank you to them. Huge thank you to everybody that's come on any of the shows in the last year. Jason Christopher Mayer, which we just talked about, his brand new film, The Sound. If you haven't checked that out, please go check out The Sound. Miguel, where did you go?
Hold on.
He's leaving.
No.
He,
Camera's being fucking stupid. Sorry.
but huge thank you to Jason Christopher Mayer for coming on and joining us and talking about his film, The Sound. Again, if you haven't checked it out, please go do that. It's on YouTube and Alter. Steve Merlo, the writer-director of The Sawyer Massacre, which just had a very successful release. I believe they hit another benchmark today in terms of the amount of views on YouTube. An unofficial prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Bravo.
Steve is an awesome dude. Jason is an awesome dude. Thank you to the both of them so much for coming on the show and for chatting with us about their work and for sharing that with us. Huge thank you to Frank and Darren of the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast for coming on a while ago last year. Was that last year? No, that was this year. That was this year. That wasn't that long.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was last year. That goes to show you how much longer ago this summer felt. They came on and they talked about An American Werewolf in London. We talked some Halloween Ends. That was a really, really fun episode of that show as well. So huge thank you to those guys. They do an incredible job with their show over at their channel. Somebody very important to us, and he was actually the first guest we ever had on the show. An incredible, huge thank you to the one and only JT Kendall for joining us. JT, I don't know if he's listening or if he will listen to this, I don't know. But JT is an absolutely awesome dude. and I can't wait to finally get to meet him at some point in person. I think we're gonna try and go get.
We have
some,
not forgotten that invitation, man. We
no,
will.
we
will
haven't,
be
we
taking
haven't.
time to accept it. So.
We're gonna check out some locations that things were shot in Atlanta, and it's gonna be a good time. And we're thankful for his support and his love. We've had him on a couple of times. He's been awesome. He's been a huge supporter. Huge. He's been the biggest supporter of the channel. No one else has ever been a bigger supporter of our channel.
You're God.
That he's been an awesome supporter.
Said that 3 times.
He's been an awesome supporter of our channel, and he's just a really sweet dude. And he's got a channel as well, always talking about music and pop culture. It's freaking awesome. So go check out JT's channel as well. Jade said there have been some great guests on here for sure. And there's a lot of people that we still want to have on. I know we have something in the works right now with Brad and Brettman from Good Real Hunting to do something with them early next year. We've also been on Kyle Curtis Flett's show. Huge thank you to Kyle Curtis Flett for having us on his show.
Shout out to you,
that was
man.
the first time we were ever special guests on somebody else's show, which was pretty cool.
Thank you.
Kyle's doing great things on his channel. So please go check out him. And then this is as much me personally as it is for, I think, both of us and for our channel. But I maybe owe the biggest thank you of anyone to Mike and Jay from We Watched a Movie. I owe them a massive
Shout out
thank
to the
you
MJs.
because they are the GOATs. They are. I don't think Let's Talk Movies would exist without them. And that is because I sat and listened to, when I found them in 2017. No, it was 2017 because it was before Halloween 2018 came out. It was the year before. I would literally listen to them. I went into work at about 3:45. I'd get to work in Lexington. And I would literally sit and listen to Mike and Jay bullshit and talk to each other for probably 5 or 6 hours, just like nonstop every single day. Like it was like a big piece of my day, and I had no idea. Like I knew, but I didn't know like how incredible and how cool this like online community of people was until I found them. So that's why I say I don't know that Let's Talk Movies would exist without them. I really don't. I mean, we owe them a lot, and they've been really gracious to us too. Like every time we've hung out with them, whether it's like in person or on the channel, we had them on. I don't remember what episode it was of Purely. I want to say it was like 14 or 15 of Purely and Simply Evil. We talked some Halloween Ends. We talked about A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Yeah, we talked about 3. We talked Dream Warriors. We talked about Dream Warriors. But they have been nothing but supportive of us. And they are two really cool dudes.
Some really two cool cats, man.
100%. So just a massive thank you to them. And the biggest thank you goes to all of you listening right now. Jaded, Rosalia, everybody that shows up every single week to listen to us be stupid with each other and talk about movies. Like, that is just absolutely... It blows my mind the amount of support and how much this has grown in 2 years. And like clicks has never been like clicks and subscribers. We've said this before. Clicks and subscribers has never been something that we put a lot of like stock in or value in. But like it's so cool to watch that number go up, and it's so cool to see new people show up. You know what I mean? And even like we've gotten to meet some of you. Like we met Colton. He was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but like we met Colton at Scarefest. We've met so many cool people through this. And we're like, I am like personally, like I am so thankful for what this channel has given me, because it was something that like I never knew that I was missing. And like I honestly mean that. Like I'm not trying to be all like rosy posy with you right now. Like it was something I never knew that I needed, but I'm so glad that I have it. So just thank you to everybody who tunes in to us and to who
Don't cry, boy.
hangs out. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. No, that just sounded like I was trying to push out the worst crap of my life.
Yeah.
But just thank you so much to all of you who come here every week and who hang out with us. It literally means the world to us. It really does.
Much appreciated, guys. Very much.
Seriously. And Miguel's the best liver I've ever had.
Damn, dude, he said it online. Fuck, we're live.
No,
Okay.
but Miguel said, no, but Miguel, buddy, thank you. I keep hitting my computer and my camera's shaking. Thank you for the last 2 years. Thank you for the last 15, 12, whatever, however many years of friendship. I love you, buddy.
Man, I love you too, man.
You're the
Look,
best
yeah,
husband I could ever ask for.
God damn it. The last 13 years and the last 2 years of this show have been the most biggest clusterfucks I've ever been into. But it's been the most fun ride I've ever been.
See, I get all sappy and emotional, and then Miguel says he says that it's just a big old cluster. Like, what is that?
It's called projection. Nah, man. Look, I loved every single minute with you, man. I love this show. I appreciate the fans. I love the guests we've met. I love the people that we've met. And even though this is only twice a week or every other week, like, and every now and then we kind of like fall off because we're so busy with our lives. It's so cool to know that the both of us have been able to be consistent in this and just slowly watch this show grow. And Brad said, happy 2 years, and he gave me a sweater too. It's a dope sweater. Fucking love it.
Yeah,
And
we
I
have
said-
that. We have
yeah.
that new LTM swag going on right now.
I'm
so.
surprised he hadn't said it. Like, I thought he.
I know. I forgot
5
about
minutes
it.
of it. But I told him, I said, look, man, thank you for the sweatshirt, and thank you for 2 years. Thank you for more. See, that's why I said what I said. I ain't trying to lose subs. But yeah, guys,
That's pretty funny.
love
Man, yeah, man. God, Rosalia, you guys are killing me, man. I don't want to cry. I don't want to. I don't want to get all sappy and emotional.
you. Okay, don't cry then, bro. It's easy. Hey, watch. That's not me crying now.
What was that?
This is me not crying. What the fuck you think?
You're sitting there. You're sitting there trying not to cry. You're like,
There you go. I'm not crying now.
it's like you. But yeah, man, you guys are the best. We love you so much. Jada said, if I'm not here for a live stream, the aliens got me.
Golly.
I said, you'll be getting probed.
I didn't know my cousin Hector was over there.
You're awful. You're terrible. Yeah, man. You guys are awesome, and we're so thankful for you, and we're so thankful for this channel and this community and these people that we get to hang out with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we do not deserve it. We're so thankful.
Thank you, man.
It's amazing. So, with all the sappy crap out of the way,
Wipe the tears. Wipe the crust from your eyes.
we have a top 8 to get through, and I have mine written down already. Now,
damn.
Miguel,
Okay.
Miguel, where'd you go? I can't see you. So we're at our top 8 in ranking Marvel Studios' Infinity Saga. We're about 2.5 hours into this show. We're probably gonna go till about 3 hours. That's just my guess. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think we probably will. Although this is our last big list, and then we have our top 3, and then we're done. So hopefully it won't take too much longer. So I know, like, Rosalia just got here. There's a couple of new people here. So we did our top 9 through 23 of the Infinity Saga. We did them in a couple different sections. Now we're on 4 through 8, and then we're gonna give our top 3 of the Infinity Saga. I can't really recap because I don't have Miguel's list with me.
Lift? I don't lift.
Lift you. I don't have your whatever lisp. I lisp. I don't know. I don't have whatever.
Give yours, and then I'll give mine, obviously.
Whatever.
That's pretty easy. We both have mouths.
Rosalia said, "Ew, I'm sick of Marvel, but I don't care. I'm here for you guys." Thanks, Rosalia. If you don't like Marvel, you really don't have to stay. Don't feel obligated. It's okay. Jaded said, "I gotta head out in about 10:30, 20 minutes." All right. Well, we have 20 minutes to finish this thing, Miguel. So I'm gonna need all of the rest of your list. Go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hold on.
I'm kidding.
Hold on. Spooder man. Okay.
Spooderman. Bro, the first time I ever saw Spooderman, it wrecked me. I was like, what is that?
All right, let's see.
Spooderman.
Spooder man.
Look.
That's like from one of our old shows.
Hey.
Yeah. You said Spooder Man in one of our old shows. I don't remember how it went. It was like an outtake or whatever.
I don't even remember that. Did I?
Yeah, you did. All right,
Dude,
I'm ready.
there is holy crap, I looked down for 2 seconds, and then there's Find New Love in Your Town Today popping up in the chat. Bro, where did that come from? Okay. All right, here we go. Number 4 through number 8 of the Infinity Saga.
You ready?
All right. Jada said, "Bro, I listen to the replay in the morning as I go to sleep. I'm not missing your else number ones." Yeah, I'm very curious to see. I'm very curious to see if our top 3 are the same or not. Actually,
Probably
no. Actually, hold
not.
on. I don't think our top 3 could be the same. No, they can't be the same because you've already said one of them.
Really?
Yeah, you've already said one of my top 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rosalia said, "Brad, are you and Miguel going to do a best and worst of the year?" Yeah, I figured we would do. I was actually thinking about that today. We have to do like our top 5 movies of 2022 and then our most anticipated movies of 2023, which I figured we'll do most anticipated in January. But so, listen, also Miguel, I haven't even talked to you about this yet, but we talked about this at the beginning of the show. We're expecting some crazy weather, like possible blizzard warning by Thursday at like 5 o'clock. If we're snowed in on Christmas Eve, I want to watch Christmas Vacation.
Okay. You want to do a commentary?
Live.
Fuck it, sure, I guess.
If we're snowed, like if I can't go anywhere, I'm gonna watch Christmas Vacation because it's my favorite movie of all time. Like, it's gonna happen. Has to. So
Okay, we'll set that in
stay
motion.
tuned if you're not doing anything on Christmas Eve. Yeah, we might do that. We'll see. It depends on how much snow we get.
That's true.
It's I don't know. It's kind of up
depends
in
on
the
how
air.
fucked our streets are, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty up in the air right now. It's like.
Yeah.
Like literally the forecast, which I feel like that's how it always is. But the National Weather Service is like, you guys are gonna get like some ice, and really bad wind and like 1 to 2 inches of snow. It's not gonna be a lot. But then all of the other like local forecasters are like, bro, 7 inches. Like it's like very different. It's like, okay, I don't know who
Yeah,
to believe. Like what's gonna happen right now.
It's very NPR with the National Weather Service, and then with like our local stations,
Yeah.
It's like damn near biblical what's about to
It's
happen.
like, yeah, like you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Are you ready,
Yep.
Miguel? 3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Boom. None of them.
Boom.
You did not.
I did.
You did not put
I did.
Avengers Endgame as your number 4.
I did. It's the top of this 5 though.
I am deceased right now.
I am deceased.
You
Well, I'm
put
sorry.
Endgame and what?
What?
It's not in your top 3?
Bro, it's my list.
You're a psychopath, dude.
I'm sorry, I'm just not basic.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry, but you deserve a J. Jonah.
You serious?
Dead serious, bitch.
Wow. You go first this time because I am dying to hear why Avengers Endgame is your
Okay,
number
so
4.
I got number 8.
Wow.
Wait, how is it 8 and then before? Okay,
Math
never
is hard.
Yeah. At number 8, I got Iron Man 3. And at number 7, I got Thor Ragnarok.
That-
And then at number 6, I got
Thor
Spider-Man
Ragnar-
Far From Homer. And then I got number 5 for the Black Panther. And then at number 4, I got Endgame.
Thor, grab your cock.
Grab your cock, ladies and gentlemen. 'Cause it's at number 7. Yeah.
Uh,
So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much my but you understand, this is my last top 5. That's pretty big for me. For it to be my last top 5. Brad thinks it's weird the way I do my ranking. This is how I do my ranking.
I do think it's weird.
No, I love it like this, man. It is a long list. I can't treat my bottom 5 as if it's worse, as if I can't watch it. It's something I'll watch.
Jaden said Miguel's whiteboard is a Mandela effect.
Yeah, right. No, but yeah, look, Iron Man 3 close and dear to my heart. You really like. Look, if Iron Man 2 made it can't be real. Yeah, this is all scripted. Like behind this.
What is the
Behind
deal with
this-
the sex bots today? I don't understand.
Oh, was you talking about my list or the sex bots?
It's the 3rd time.
Oh, okay. Well, look, Iron Man 3. Look, J-Dad, you said that Iron Man 2 really made him human. I think Iron Man 3 humbled the fuck out of
Yeah.
out of Tony Stark. Let's be honest. Humbled the shit out of him. Like, listen, my man got his ass whooped
Yeah.
through and throughout the fucking movie. And I thought that with Iron Man 3, it really delved into the PTSD of what happened with Avengers. I think it's something that a lot of people like forget, is that with some of these superheroes, like they go through this traumatic stuff and then they have to act like everything's like okay still.
Right, like they're just fine.
With Thor, yeah, I guess, because he's a god, and then like Natasha and Clint, like, they've been through the shit. They've been through the fire already. And Captain Roger, is all Star Spangled Banner and shit. So he can go through that shit. But Iron Man, I mean, he was just a dude. He was just a rich dude that,
Right.
made a suit. And he saw all this stuff that happened. Like, he was the first people to see Tony Stark was the first person to see the Chitauri spaceship literally heading towards Earth.
Yeah. That was a
And
cool scene, by the way.
That was a really cool scene.
That was really cool.
That image was seared into his brain. You could see it because it was almost as if because Tony didn't have his armor, didn't have his technology at that point. He was just a man in a tin can at that point. His armor was gone. Like his technology was gone.
Can.
Like if the gates closed, it'd have just been him against the entire Chitauri army, and his suit doesn't work.
Could you imagine at the end of Endgame, he's on his knees and he goes, "I am." Tears coming down his face. I am the man with the tin
can.
The man with the tin can.
Yeah. So, but really though, imagine I can see Tony really losing his fucking shit and coming up with sympathy. But you can really see how the events of Avengers really treated Tony. And even though he kind of mulled it over after 2 or 3 spats, I still think that they really did his PTSD really well, because understand, this guy is an alcoholic. In the comics, he's a drug and alcoholic. He's a narcissist. He's not a well put together kind of guy, and he has spells of panic and manic episodes. But I think with Iron Man 3, it humbled him so much, and it got him well tuned in, so that he knew that hey, what happened in Avengers with the Chitauri army was not even close to what's coming. So that means he needs to tune up, build as much armor as he can, pretty much try to build an armor around the world, which was his main focus. And if you think back on it, and if you think about it, he did. He may have not got an armor around the world or the globe, but he put a suit of armor around his world. That was from an Instagram caption. You're welcome. So, love that movie. Even though the Pepper stuff, I can look past the Pepper stuff. I can look past the Mandarin stuff, because that's just, that's pish posh compared to what the story that Tony
Pish
had.
posh bagosh.
So now with number 7, Thor Ragnarok. Look, dog, this shit was just a fun movie. It was just
It
fun.
was.
I laughed my ass off the entire time. I loved it. I love Planet Hulk. I loved Hela's introduction. I was very sad with Odin leaving, but I knew that shit had to happen because Thanos was coming. And I love the whole ideology of like Asgard is not a place but a people. It was very tuned into the whole idea of like who you are, kind of thing. And I think that was something Thor struggled with in the whole franchise, for that matter. Chris Hemsworth struggled that with in the whole franchise, was who is Thor, like how it like what is Thor's role in this thing, like what is his actual purpose. And I think this movie really did set in stone of like who he is and who he was destined to be. Obviously, that didn't particularly happen in Infinity War, but
Right.
I thought that with Thor Ragnarok, it blended humor, action, tragedy, and adventure all wrapped in one in this dope ass movie.
I agree.
And
100%.
Hella, without a doubt,
Oh, I didn't even talk about
OP.
Hella, yeah.
OP kind of fucking villain. I'll be
Yeah,
honest,
dude.
bro. Thor literally had to destroy Asgard. Had to
Yeah,
let Asgard
yeah.
get destroyed so Hela could die.
Yeah, she
That's
was
some next
she was a
level
dope
shit.
villain, dude.
Yeah, so it's obvious Hela had to die and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah.
J-Did said, gotta go if I don't see you all before Christmas. Hope you guys have a great one, and that includes you, Rosa. You all been fun to get to hang out with this year. I appreciate it a lot. Stay safe. J-Did, we appreciate you, buddy. We appreciate you being here week to week. For being a moderator too, which I know a lot of times the chat's slow enough that it's I can catch things, but there's been a few times where it's like we've needed you here. So, buddy, thank you for being here so much. You and Rosalia especially are always here. Much love, buddy. Merry Christmas. If we do end up if we're snowed in, and we end up doing that watch along Saturday night, we'll let you know. So we'll schedule it. We'll make an announcement and stuff. So, Merry Christmas, buddy. Have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Christmas. Happy
So-
Merry Chrysler.
Back to it. Number 6. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Far From Homer. Look, guys, I know he went to fucking Europe, okay? I know that shit sucks. But this was a dope ass
I know that
story.
sucks.
It was a dope ass story, though. Let's be honest. It was a beautiful epilogue to what happened after the events of Endgame. Like, Spider-Man literally went through some fucking traumatic, like, went through some
He did.
shit. Like, he
did.
died. He died. He got dusted.
You said he died.
He got
That's true.
dusted,
He
dog.
did.
He got dusted, came back, and literally had to fight the entire fucking army.
You said
And
he
survived.
died.
Like, I would want to put up the suit for a little bit and want to be a
Bro
teenager.
died. Did you ever really think about though? They all literally died, and then the minute they came back, they were like, "All right, gotta go fight." Like,
All right, gotta
what?
go risk my life again. Like, yeah, like
Gotta
every
go
single-
die
like,
again.
Literally, the people that got dusted back, they were ready for the smoke. They
Yeah.
said, "Oh fuck!" None of them were like, "Oh my god, I almost died." No, I'm too scared to fight. It's like, nah, dog, you dusted me, I'm dusting you now. So
Yeah.
like that mentality is a mentality we all need to have as Americans. No, I'm kidding. But nonetheless, look, with Spider-Man Far From Home, like, it really set the idea that like there were a lot of like statements being known about Spider-Man at this point, was the fact that like, oh, Spider-Man is just, he's Tony's lackey. He's only Iron Man's sidekick. He's like, he's like his pool boy or whatever for Iron Man. This was really to set the stage for Spider-Man to be his own person, to
Right.
be his own superhero.
Yeah.
And even though it fell into a little bit of like Peter Parker trying to like get under the wings of Mysterio because he was trying to be a good guy at the first time, but I think after the events of what happened, and then with Peter and Happy's little moment together about like he doesn't know what to do without Tony, like that moment right there was really just the moment where it really set the stage for like, I'm Peter Parker, I'm Spider-Man, I am my own superhero, and I think that's one of the best stories that you could give to this MCU Spider-Man, because obviously I didn't particularly like the him making his own suit out of Tony Tech. The whole Tony Tech
I kind of like that.
storyline. The whole Tony Tech technology thing was getting really old. I'm not gonna lie. It was getting to the point where like Tony's Tech was just like in every single fucking movie. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
where'd you get this? Oh, this is one of Tony's Tech. You know,
Yeah,
like, oh boy, just burned to a crisp. He burned to an old oatmeal cookie, and now I have his fucking gauntlets. Like, no, okay, that shit got a little old for a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'd say that even though like we got that good storyline, that's the only thing that really was a big gripe for me was the fact that Tony Tech was still such a massive ideology. Like the legacy of Tony was still like pretty big, even
Right.
though I know it's mainly the story. But I digress. Number 5, the Black Panther. Look, when the Black Panther was introduced in Civil War, I absolutely fucking thought it was dope as fuck. It was legit. When Chadwick Boseman came in, his demeanor, his tone, his acting, his choreographed fights
It was dope.
in Civil War was dope. So I knew I was gonna get some good shit in Black Panther, and I did. I will say though, the CGI was very mid. I'll say that. CGI was pretty mid. I
Yeah.
wish that they stuck with the actual suit of the Black Panther and not go strictly with CGI. I know that really dampened the mood on the whole thing. I thought the final fight between Killmonger and T'Challa was very it was way too CGI fest pretty much. But
Yeah.
that's not taking away from the storyline that we had with T'Challa and accepting the death of his father, accepting the responsibilities of becoming king, and coming to the realization that maybe his legacy of his father is probably tainted in family blood. And the introduction, like, you can't name me a more dope introduction to a MCU villain than Killmonger's, and him
It was
saying
pretty
that
dope. Yeah.
cold is one of the fucking coldest and hardest fucking lines out there. It's like how do you think your ancestors got this stuff? You think they asked, or did they take it after pillaging my village, or whatever he said? I know I butchered that, and I know it's gonna be sacrilegious, but look, that line was so fucking hard that it really
Yeah.
set the tone. It was like, hey, Killmonger ain't here to fucking play. He came
He ain't
here
here
to
to make
wreck
friends.
shit. He ain't here to make friends.
Yeah.
And I know people are wanting Killmonger to come. Oh, I don't want to spoil that. I know they were wanting Killmonger to be the next Black Panther. Obviously, it's not the case. But look, there ain't no way Killmonger's gonna be a good guy. That man was straight evil to the bone. He was a understanding evil, kind of.
Right.
He was he was a hero in his own story, which is
Yes.
something that was very true with Thanos.
Yes.
So, yeah, Black Panther, phenomenal movie. CGI was kind of mid, but that doesn't steer me away from everything. So,
100% agree.
number 4, the sacrilegious one, Avengers Endgame. Look, the culmination of everything,
I'm waiting.
just everything that we've come down to since Iron Man 1. It came down to this fucking movie, and it delivered. It did. It delivered on everything we probably promised, except for Brad. Whenever you didn't want Professor Hulk, but guess what, man? Professor Hulk needed to be in this.
It's not that I didn't want Professor Hulk.
But
I was fine
nonetheless-
with it being
nonetheless-
Professor Hulk.
Nonetheless,
I just wanted there to be more of a rematch between any Hulk and Thanos, and we didn't get that.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
The whole time travel scenario, the time heist, dope. Seeing every single character from old to new throughout the not the multiverse, but throughout the universe and the timelines and the whole portal scenes, all of that, absolutely dope. The Steve Rogers picking up the hammer, like, absolutely phenomenal. But I felt like the story would not have made sense without Infinity War. And I think that's why it's at my number 4. Is because as a movie as a whole, in and of itself, you couldn't watch this movie and really know why or how these things are happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Yes,
it makes no
explained it.
sense if you don't see Infinity War.
Makes zero sense if you don't watch everything.
Yes.
Makes zero sense.
And to be honest, Infinity War really doesn't make all that much sense unless you watch the rest of it either. So, like,
Pretty
you know.
much, yeah. So, but I'll say this with Endgame, it's a culmination of everything. But a movie in and of itself, it relied heavily on source material, and I think that was something that Infinity War didn't really do, and that's why I consider Endgame a little bit lower in my list. So that's where I'm
Okay.
going.
Okay. I get it. I get it. My number 8 is, interestingly enough, my number 8 is Iron Man. And so here's the thing. I really like the first Iron Man film. I do. I think as a standalone superhero film, it's one of the best standalone superhero films of all time. Now, the cool thing about it, like we had mentioned earlier, is we had no idea that even when Nick Fury walked out at the end, we hadn't seen anything like that moment in the Avengers where they're all standing back to back and the camera's panning and circling around them and stuff, and they're all like, like looking up at the aliens and stuff. Like, I mean, nobody could have ever predicted that was going to happen, that would be the end game.
Ill.
But it was still a good. That's what's cool about the first Iron Man film, is it's still a cool standalone superhero movie. It doesn't feel crazy. It doesn't feel off the wall. Even the tech stuff, even when he's building it, Tony Stark built this thing in a cave. It doesn't feel like too unrealistic. Like, it does it pretty well. And I think one of the things that I like is that Mark 1 suit that he builds in the cave,
Baller.
it was baller, but it also had flaws. Like, it wasn't perfect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, it's cool that it had flaws. You know what I mean? It's cool that it was like every suit was a learning experience for him until he got the one he wanted. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
it's that whole film... and the progression of how that film, like, how he comes to be Iron Man at the end of it. Seeing him kind of go through that human thing of, like, he feels like he's an untouchable celebrity person, and then he gets taken into the cave, and he's very much humbled, he's very much humanized, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to be something more than human. And again, in Iron Man 2, it's like he gets that reality check of like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he gets humbled really quickly. Or is that Iron Man 3 that you said that? I don't know. His whole arc continues, you know what I mean?
Every single movie he gets humbled. I'm going to say that right now. Yeah.
But Iron Man is a really, really good standalone film. Even the final act of Iron Man is still great. Like, in a lot of these standalone superhero films, I like it up until the last act, and the last act kind of falls short for me. But Iron Man,
the icing problem.
yeah, Iron Man manages to have a really cool final act, like the final fight between Zebediah or Jedediah or Obadiah, whatever his name is. I don't know. Way down yonder on the Chattanooga. No,
Jebediah.
The final fight between him and Obadiah is really cool. My number 7 might seem a little low on this list, but it is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I think The Winter Soldier is a really, really cool film, and the thing that I like about it is the fact that it has the balls to go dark. It's one of the darkest MCU films. It really is.
Bro, Nick
in the
Fury
tone,
literally got made a crater.
Yes, I mean, in the
In front
tone,
of us.
in the cinematography, in the fight scenes, it feels so much more visceral than I think some of the rest of the films do. There's something like, even like, I love the scene when Steve is chasing Bucky before he knows it's Bucky, and obviously, like, he throws the shield at him and he just turns and grabs it. Like, that's such a cool moment. Some of the fight scenes are so well choreographed and so well done that you're just like the entire time you're watching it, you know what I mean? It's nuts. When he sees Bucky at the end, there's emotional stuff between Steve and Nat. There's emotional stuff between Steve and Bucky. Like, again, it's a third act that completely delivers. It just nails it, like, top to bottom. Really, really, really good follow-up, and definitely deserves to be in the top 10 of the MCU. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible film. I put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 above it, Those 6 and 7 are two that could interchange. Like I could be persuaded to put Guardians Volume 2 below Winter Soldier. I don't know. Guardians Volume 2 for me is just, it's so fun, and it's like such an expansion pack on the characters that already surprised us all to begin with.
Yeah.
But like it just, like, it makes it so much better. Like I feel like every single time we see the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like better. Like it just adds more to the enjoyment of it. You know what I mean? They're so much fun. You get the Baby Groot thing, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like the opening sequence, the stuff with Yondu. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Like, there's so many cool. Again, it's kind of got, that film has a little bit of Ragnarok to it, where it's like, it's a really cool balance of serious and funny and emotion and drama, and like, it's a really nice blend of a lot of different things. And again, I think that's something that James Gunn is very, very good at. I would say the same thing about Taika Waititi. You know what I mean? I think they're both
agree.
very good at blending different things together and making it like something really, really interesting and cool.
It's their
you know?
way with colors is something that's very,
Yes, it's
very much eye candy.
and that's why I said it's everything. It's the characters and their individual story arcs. It's the cinematography. It's the music. It's the look and feel of the design of the characters and the villains, and and the worlds. Like it's everything. That now I have the hiccups.
Hey, tell yourself you're not a fish. Say you're not a fish.
I'm not a fish.
I'm gonna watch it go away. Continue.
I am not a fish.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just it's a really, really cool follow up. It's a really, really cool sequel, and I'm very, very excited to see what Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 does, because again, we've heard a lot about that film being very, very emotional and very, very different from its two predecessors. So
Yeah.
Guardians Volume 2 is definitely one that's pretty high up on the list. My number 5 is The Avengers from 2012. The Avengers,
Respect.
again, I mean, what have we, it's in my top 5. I mean, what have we said about The Avengers that's not to be said already? I mean, it's the ultimate comic book movie. It was an event, and it was a moment that I don't think anybody will ever recapture again, even Marvel. It was something that Endgame didn't even capture. You know what I mean? Endgame captured the spectacle of everything that came before it, but the Avengers was the first time we ever saw that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was the first. Nobody even dreamt that this would be would be possible. This whole cinematic universe thing, like, that wasn't a thing really before the Avengers. So I think it's really, really cool, just to look back at that film and like to look back on what it meant for like the MCU as a whole, and for what it meant for cinema. And like, I remember seeing the Avengers in the theaters, and it blew me away the first time I saw it. Like, literally blew my entire mind when I saw it. It was amazing. And then, of course, my number 4. This is what I don't know if you've mentioned yet. My number 4 is Captain America: Civil War. I very much enjoyed Civil War. I know that there were a lot of people that didn't. I know there were a lot of people that felt that they watered down the Civil War storyline from the comic books, and I can understand that. I get it. But for an MCU movie, Civil War felt very complex. It did some ballsy things with the characters. We brought Ant-Man back, whatever. We brought Spider-Man into the mix. It was a very cool blending of characters. It was an Avengers movie without necessarily being an Avengers movie.
That was Avengers like 2.5.
Yeah, like, it really was. Like, that's kind of how I think about it. And it's very cool the way that those characters play off of each other. It's cool the way that it doesn't necessarily end on a good note. I mean, yes, technically you get like Steve giving Tony the cell phone that says, you know, if you ever need me, like, I'll be there. Like, I still trust you. I still, you know, believe in you. I still love you, whatever. Like, you know, it does the sappy stuff at the end. But like, the stuff with the Sokovia Accords was so cool. The stuff with Steve and Bucky was so cool. It was such a cool film, and I know it has its problems. It's not perfect. The airport fight scene. The airport fight scene is one of the best moments in Marvel cinematic history. It is. I think it is. I think it's awesome. I
I'd
love
say
the
it's probably
airport
one
fight
of the most
scene.
tragic scenes out there.
It is tragic, but it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool scene. Again, it's one of those films where you think it's going to end and then it doesn't. It tacks on more when you when you realize that Bucky was the one that killed Tony's parents, and it's just like that. It's a very emotional film, and it's a very, very complex film. Like, there's a lot going on, but it does it all very well, which, again, I appreciate that. I appreciate when you can have different character arcs and different things happening at different times, but it all plays into each other and it all kind of weaves the same web. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, that's a cool spider web. Like, this is a cool like mixture of arcs
Him
and
and his
characters and
spider
things
web,
happening, you know? So my number 4 is Captain America Civil War. I put it above the Avengers, man.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nuts.
All right, guys.
We're in our
We
final
are at
3.
our final 3.
Woo!
Now, how did you want to do this again?
Let's do these individually.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do these individually.
All right. So I'll go first. All right. Now,
Well, we can reveal them at the same time, but like we're not gonna give our final 3 like. At the
oh,
same
okay, I
time.
got you. All right.
Yeah. So let me write a little. So do you want to reveal them at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I feel like I can tell what yours is. I don't think you can tell what mine is.
I really can't tell what yours is. I'm
guessing.
curious whether or not you whether you get mine right or not, though.
Keep them guessing.
All right. Real
right.
quick, Rosalia said, "Do your ladies like these movies too, Brad Miguel?" Julia does. She's actually a pretty big Marvel fan, and I didn't even really get her into that, but like her brother was, and her parents are into it, and my parents are into it. Like, yeah, we're definitely Marvel people.
I'm hoping Sierra doesn't watch this because I'm spoiling the entire thing because I'm getting her into it. So she said she wants to. She said she's watching them, and she's gotten pretty far. It's just a matter of time and getting through it together.
Yeah.
So I hope she's not watching this. I really want her to see it because we paid respect to her and Julia. But yeah, honey, I love you. Please don't watch this one.
She did go see Spider-Man: No Way Home with us, and she had not even
She
the
did not even the
slightest of ideas
slightest
what was
clue, but
happening.
she loved it nonetheless.
Yeah, Rosalia, that's cool. She said I try to be a good girlfriend and watch these with my guy. That's cool. That you're a good girlfriend, Rosalia.
There you go.
That's awesome.
You a real one.
She also said, why do they reuse the same actors for different roles like Chris Evans? It's a bit annoying. The thing is though, it was a different studio, it's a different time. Like it was very different. You know what I mean with the Human Torch thing.
Oh,
So I think that's
yeah.
why. Yeah, I think it is a little bit annoying, but at the same time, it's like I can kind of let it go. You know what I mean? Like I can kind
Yeah.
of like separate the two in my mind. But
I get that.
all right, you ready for number 3?
I am ready for number 3. All right.
All right, here's our number 3.
At number 3.
Our third favorite film in the entire Infinity Saga.
Ready?
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Ah, nice.
Damn.
Oh, sorry, I'm not.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I thought
What
you said
did
that.
you
I
think
thought
it was
you
going to
already
be?
said that.
What do you think it was going to be?
I know I definitely know the last 2 now, but
Yeah.
I was surprised about the Age of Ultron. I didn't think it was that high. I knew
Yeah,
it was gonna be
it's-
high, but I didn't know
it's
it was gonna be
pretty
that high.
Age of
Wow.
Ultron is pretty hot. Here's the thing. I think Age of Ultron is a really, really cool movie. It's a cool follow-up.
Definitely
like,
underrated.
I think it's underrated, and there's a lot of people that don't like it. Like, I just realized there's a lot of people that think Age of Ultron sucks. I think Age of Ultron is a pretty cool movie, if we're being completely honest. Like, Age of Ultron, I think, makes things more complex. Like, it takes a lot of the things that the first Avengers film did well, and it makes them all the more complex. Like, the stuff with Pietro and Wanda, like you add that into the mix. You add in the Tony seeing the Vision when they're hunting for the Tesseract, and you kind of get the whole like where he's freaking out and he's like, "Holy crap, we have to do something about this." Like you get they all matter. Like, again, all of the characters get their due. Like, the stuff with Thor matters. We bring back what's his face, who played Will Turner's dad in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it all the villain was really really cool. Like, I don't know why people can say that Age of Ultron wasn't a good movie, because for me Age of Ultron hits like it checks all the boxes. Like, it's entertaining, it's funny, it's a good dramatic superhero film. Like, it does a lot of really really cool things. Like, I really really like it. And there are also some genuinely creepy moments too. Like,
Yeah, I'd agree.
some of the stuff with like the whole like I've got no strings on me thing, like when he's like walking around and dabbling, and like he, like, there's some really really cool Ultron moments in that film. Even at the end, like the Vision too. Like, there's it's a pretty complex superhero movie. Like, there's a lot going on in it,
Yeah.
I love the line at the end when Ultron says they're doomed, all of them or whatever, and he's like talking about the human race, and Vision is like, I know, but there's beauty in them, like, trying to be better. You know what I mean? And stuff like
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know. I love Age of Ultron. I think Age of Ultron is a very, very underrated superhero movie. I really
Look, it is definitely underrated. I personally feel like it could have been delved in a lot more. I think an extra 30 minutes probably would have helped that movie tremendously. I'll say that.
I don't know. I like it how it is. Like, I really like it. I genuinely really
I
really
get it.
like Age of Ultron
Yeah.
a lot.
And it really sets the tone for, like, because like there was like two main characters were leaving, Thor and Iron Man at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and like it was like, okay, so what's next? And you also have you have Rhodey and Wanda taking over. I guess those two empty spots at the time.
Cap really said Avengers.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
it's a good one, man.
it is a good one. Now with my number 3 was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
Guardians
3.
of the Galaxy
Guardians
with
Guardians of the Galaxy
with
Volume 2.
with
I gotta say, this one holds near and dear to my heart. I love this movie so much, and just because, just like how Brad said, it was an expansion pack from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and honestly, like, it delivered on everything. It expanded the story of Yondu. It expanded the story of Peter Quill. It delved into the idea of him being like a demi semi. What was the name? What was he? Like, I guess a demigod or whatever.
Like a
I
demigod,
suppose.
yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly. You're talking about Ego, right?
Yeah, a demi
Yeah,
celestial.
I don't
He's
know.
a
I don't know
celestial.
exactly what he was.
Yeah, Peter Quill could have been a celestial or whatever, and it was just the idea of him meeting his father and all that stuff. Him not knowing exactly who he was or where he came from, and then with the whole Rocket situation and him, being very pushy against his friends, and the whole
Yeah.
Yondu, like, I'm Mary Poppins, but I'm also, he ain't your father. He may as well be your father,
Yeah.
but he wasn't your daddy. Like,
He
that
may
shit
be your
was- that
father,
shit-
but he ain't your daddy.
he ain't your daddy, yeah. And just
Real
all
men
those-
cried during that scene.
Yeah, a lot of themes were going around in this movie, but also in regards to action too, the color and the cinematography of it,
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous. With the whole Gamora and Nebula fight scene between those two, fucking dope. The final fight scene between the Guardians and that old Aisha chick, like, it was the time.
The
it was
Aisha
a
chick.
time when, like, they were drilling into Ego's heart, and they were so close. And then I forgot who it was. The guy that has Yondu's powers now. He called Yondu and he was like, Captain? Captain? And Yondu's like, what? He says, you remember that old Aisha chick? And he said, yeah, what of it? And then just like the entire fucking flames of the whole covenant just comes flying in, and it's just that whole battle's pretty dope. And then the final fight scene between Ego and Peter, and him using his celestial powers, and using like old like using his imagination. It was basically a giant rock Ego against a giant fucking Pac-Man. Like, I never thought that was gonna happen. When I saw Ego do it, I was like, okay, we're just gonna get a giant boulder of Peter Quill. No, we got Pac-Man. I was like, Fucking love it.
Dude, you realize we're gonna get to see that whole thing pay off because we're getting Adam Warlock, dude.
Yeah.
Like
We're
Adam
finally gonna-
Warlock is actually coming to
And
the
that was
MCU. That's
one of those
legit.
big. That was definitely one of those big kind of disappointments because I was hoping Adam Warlock was going to come sooner.
We did
Because
get the
way they
tease though
teased them. We
that
got
it was
the
gonna
tease,
happen.
but just the way that they teased them and then just didn't utilize them like in
Yeah.
Infinity War like they're supposed to, I guess, in the comics. But nonetheless, I'll end it with this: the mixtape for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, dope. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, fucking stellar. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what they do with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I can't wait to
I
see what
see.
mixtape they got going.
I will say this though. If Adam Warlock would have shown up and saved the day in Endgame, I think Endgame would be like there's 23 movies in the in the Infinity Saga. I think Endgame would have been like 24. Like Endgame would have been like I would have been so mad if Adam Warlock would have just shown up out of the blue and like saved everybody. Like what? Like no, get out of here. You don't
No,
you
I
haven't
get it.
existed, bro. You
I
know what I
get it.
mean?
But yeah, that's what number 3.
Okay. I'm still very much undecided on my number 2.
Nope, I'm going full throttle.
I don't know what to do. I can't. I keep going back and forth, and I know you know what 2 movies it is because there's only 2 left on my list that I haven't gotten to say yet.
I know,
And
I'm ready to tell mine right now. So, and 3, 2, 1, okay? And all right, write that shit down right now. I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1. Now we count down to flip.
Milo's ready for it to happen. Apparently,
I know, right? You can hear him. Milo.
All right.
All right.
I
All right. Countdown. Number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Bro. Flip that shit right now. You're killing me here. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Infinity War.
okay.
We're
Here's
both
the deal.
in agreement.
Here's the deal. Okay. I am very stuck because okay, so like obviously my number 1 was Endgame. My number 2 is Infinity War. I really struggled with where to put these 2 because I think for me Endgame means more. Endgame means more, like personally, like I have never once in my life felt. I take that back. There's been a few times I've had like a genuinely moving theater experience, but in terms of hype,
it was when an ape got shot by a bunch of white people in planes.
dude, King Kong 2005 wrecked me, but there. Endgame was different, man. Endgame, like, I don't know, that moment, like, I think Avengers Infinity War is a much better movie than Avengers Endgame. I do.
Yes.
I think Infinity War is full on pedal to the metal. I think it is a very, very cool collaboration between all of these characters, and it's a very, very cool build-up. Like climactic build up to this world that we've been building for over a decade, but I don't know, the sole reason that I put Endgame over Infinity War is because of the Avengers Assemble moment. I mean, when they said Avengers Assemble, I literally I was like sobbing. Like you were sitting next to me, like I was literally crying. I think all of us were like at that Avengers Assemble moment. Like it was just amazing. Like it just, I don't know. Endgame, that moment hit different, but Infinity War was just kind of nuts. Like I remember when Infinity War ended, our whole like friend group of people there literally sat there like this.
We're like, what the fuck?
Like we literally sat there in silence for like 6 or 7 minutes, like after Infinity War ended, because it's just like,
Yeah, it was, dude. This was not. It was
like
not an
that's
Avengers
it.
movie.
Like that's how we're leaving this. You know what I mean?
That was
It
not
was
an
nuts.
Avengers movie. It was a Thanos and Journey of the Infinity Stones movie.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
100% a Thanos movie,
and it
and
was
that's why I love
done.
it.
That was
That's
done
why I
really
love it.
well. Like
Yeah,
it
because
was. Sorry.
no, go ahead. I mean, I was gonna share my 2 cents, but Infinity War is it can be a great solo movie already. It can be a great comic book solo movie. If you were to just put like Thanos as the main character, which he is,
Yes, he is.
and every single thing that was placed in the with the Avengers was already explained perfectly.
Yeah.
The events of Civil War, the events of what happened with the Infinity Stones, where they are and who has them and whatnot. Like they're already like explained. We
Yeah.
already know how Thanos got the first Power Stone. No, the Space Stone. Which one was it? I think it was the Space Stone that he got first, and then with the Power Stone, like we know how we got them already, like because they pretty much told us, and just seeing Thanos' journey of searching for these stones and his reasoning behind it. The Avengers and everyone else are just side characters right now. They're the antagonists
Yeah.
in the Avengers and Infinity War, because Thanos is the protagonist. It just so happens that he's evil, but again, he's the hero in his own journey. And I thought Thanos really was. I thought the way they did Thanos was absolutely phenomenal.
Right.
So I mean, Infinity War is a think piece in of itself, but again, it was just so grand, so chaotic. It was like one of those things. It's like, oh, if only this, if only that, if only it was a bunch of like what ifs. Like if the Avengers
Yeah,
did this, if they
yeah.
did that, if they could do this, if Thor was here, if Wanda was here, if Roger was here, if Captain and Iron Man were together, it wouldn't have happened. It was left
Yeah.
with a whole bunch of what ifs, and I think that a lot of people just forgot the fact that this was Thanos' movie, like through
It
and
was.
throughout.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy Infinity War over Endgame, because with Endgame it was just like literally like you should know all this by now. So I'm gonna literally push narrative. If you don't know, then you're pretty much just left out of the loop.
Well,
And
and something else that Endgame did that I really liked too was it built up like the stakes in Infinity War and Endgame actually felt high, which I think
Infinity War,
is
yes,
but even in Endgame, like Infinity War, when they lose at the end of Infinity War, you feel like you've been gutted. You know what I mean? Even seeing the after effects, I'm an apocalypse dude. Like I like seeing how like the zombie apocalypse is portrayed in film and TV. Like I like, again, entertainment purposes. I don't actually want the apocalypse to happen. That's not what I mean. But I'm into how that's portrayed for entertainment purposes. And like seeing like all of the ships wrecked and stuff like that, like on the coast of New York, and seeing like trash not picked up and like the memorials and kind of how society has fallen apart a little bit because half the people on the planet just poof, we're gone. That was kind of cool, and like the after effects of like when you get the Russo cameo. I don't remember
Yeah.
if it's Joe or Anthony. I get them confused who is who. But like when you get the cameo and he's like, I went on a date the other day. And Steve is like, that's good. Like that, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to support each other, but it's like a really hard time. And even like, I love the line when Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, says the same things that are happening that are happening here are happening on every other planet too. Like their societies are falling apart too, because half of their people are gone too. Like, and I feel like
Yeah,
that was
not just
something
Earth.
that would have been cool to explore, is like it wasn't just Earth, like it was everywhere, like it was the universe, like all of 616 lost half of its people, and it was just so like it was cool to see the after effects of that too. So like, which is the better movie to me? Infinity War is the better movie, but which is the more emotionally draining movie for me? It's Endgame, just because of what it meant. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and Tony and Natasha's deaths both killed me. Like totally killed me. Like, I mean, y'all know I'm a I like Scarlett Johansson, and I
Scarjo's
love. I am. I'll admit it, and I love Black Widow, and I loved Tony and that whole his death, dude. His death wrecked me. Like his Tony's death killed me, hardcore, killed, deceased.
Don't worry, it killed him too.
I. But man, that's the ranking for me, man. Endgame and Infinity War are at the very top so far. So 100%.
There you go. Yeah.
So that
There's
is
the
our 3 hours and 15 minutes into the show. That is our 100% ranking of Marvel Studios Infinity Saga
Bravo, guys.
on the 100th episode of Let's Talk Movies.
100.
There you go. There you go.
100.
100, which Tony didn't get to reach because he died.
Look.
But yeah, man, it was an incredible, saga. It was an incredible journey, and it's something that I will never forget, and it's something that I'm cautiously optimistic that we can recapture. I hope that they can recapture that with the Multiverse Saga, because I think they can. The potential is there. It's just whether or not we can.
The formula is there.
We can, it really is. It's all there. It's just whether or not we can pull it off or not. And by we, I mean them. So we can't do anything about it. But it's been a heck of a ride for the MCU, man, and it's been an absolute blast to talk about it. I can't wait to continue to talk about it more. And one of the goals I have for the upcoming years, I got to stay more on top of stuff. I got to stay more on top of these films. I got to go back and watch a couple of horror films because Rosie, we're getting ready to do something with Brett and Brad from Good Reel. So hopefully in January we'll get to hook up with them. But lots of people we want to hang out with. Lots of people we want to see. And again, like we said, this was our 2-year anniversary celebration. That's why it's a little bit longer show. We have this is our 100th episode of the main show of Let's Talk Movies, but we are currently sitting at. Let me see. I gotta pull it up. I haven't even looked at it in a little while.
Damn.
We are currently sitting at 715 subscribers, and I feel like we are officially in the push to 1,000. We're officially kicking that off right now.
Full steam ahead.
We're in the push to 1,000. It's happening. It's happening. So it's happening. It's happening. But so, and like I said, we're not all into the subscriber thing, but like we appreciate the things as
We
they
appreciate
are now.
you guys joining the community.
But I'm really, 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 really excited for the future, and we love you guys. We love you 3,000. We do.
We love you 3,000.
What up, Mom? My mom's in the chat. She said, I wish they didn't kill off Black Widow. Me too. I don't know. I kind of wish she could have stayed. Tony was necessary. Tony was necessary to complete his story.
Mm-hmm.
He sacrificed himself to save everybody. And that makes sense. But Natasha didn't have to go.
And
She also
Tanya,
said, congrats on 2 years. Love you.
Yeah. By the way, Tanya, I forgot to text you guys, you and Peter. Thank you so much for the Christmas gift. Brad gave it to me last night, and I absolutely loved all of them. They're right behind me. If I didn't need to pee so bad, I would be getting up and showing you. But I love all of them. I can't wait to use them. I'm already using the slippers that you gave me. They're fucking dope. Milo hates them, but I love them. So thank you guys so much. Love you. Yeah.
And he's wearing the hoodie I bought him.
And I'm wearing the hoodie.
By the way, Rosalia said, where can I get a Let's Talk Movies hoodie? I like it. That's another thing that I want to try to figure out. We have some merch ideas that we want to get rolling on. We just got to figure out the logistics of that. But that's, again, something that we want to get to this year. That's a goal we have. So lots of goals, lots of people that we want to hang out with.
Absolutely.
And that we want to talk to. I've got actually a couple of unanswered emails right now that I need to go back and check. That I need to look at because of people that have reached out to us that want to throw stuff, get stuff together. I think we're trying to work out when we're getting on. When we're trying to get on Kyle Fletch's show again. There's a few different things that are. There's a lot going on. So I'm really, really looking forward to everything. And like I said, I'm not going to get all sappy again like I did before. But thank you all, like
So
from the
very much.
bottom of our hearts, for the last 2 years. This has been, again, this gave me something that I never knew I needed or wanted. I did.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely love it. It's like a piece of me now. It's a whole piece of me.
And you had to go there.
I did. Rosie said we're gonna get more people this coming year. Thanks, Rosie. I'm glad. Thank you for always being here. We really,
for being
really
a real
appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. They're really nice. Like, I'm actually
really
I'm very pleased with how they turned out. Honestly, I am. I think they look good.
Keep rubbing
They're
it
stylish.
and wish them luck. Make a wish and rub it.
It's gonna like rub off the.
He'll want a lot of wishes.
Yeah. Honestly, by the way, don't dry this. I've never tried anything I got from Canva.
Don't
I wouldn't
what?
dry this. I wouldn't. I would hang dry these if you wash it.
Why? It's gonna shrink like really bad.
I don't know if it's gonna shrink, but I don't know how this stuff is gonna like the. Cause it's like it's like laser printed. I don't know. But Rosalie, a part of the thing is I'm trying to find like the best. We're trying to find the best like outlet to do the merch stuff. So, but again, that's coming. It's something we're working on. So, listen, about 3.5 hours in, just under 3.5 hours. Thank you guys so much for joining us for our 2-year celebration, our 100th episode celebration of the main show. Again, stay tuned for Saturday night. I don't know what the weather situation is going to be. If we're snowed in, if we're stuck here, we might pop back in and we'll watch Christmas Vacation together. If that doesn't happen, so be it. We'll be back possibly next week. I don't know. I don't know what yet, but we will be back. So thank you guys for joining us. We love you 3,000. We love every single one of you. We're so blessed to be a part of this community and to be with these people. So yeah.
3,000, man. We love.
3,000. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.